All right. Hmm.
It's ridiculous. Yay!
Got it.
I think so. Let me double check,
All
see if
right.
we can hear us. We can get started. Test, 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 test. Yay! I can hear us too.
All right.
All right.
All right. So where did we leave off then?
Wednesday night. It was Wednesday night, and Baker and I were dragging Illingsworth, and no, Edgeworth, back to whoever's house was closest after he fell out the window trying to escape from
Oh yeah.
Connor and Cameron's apartment. We had
Yeah.
Nearly dying in the process.
Baker
Well,
locked the
fortunately, it was
door.
grass you landed on.
Yeah, Baker locked the door to Illingsworth's apartment, and we fled the scene as he did
Yep.
not want to engage with any local constables, and we made our
After,
ways away.
as I recall, shooting someone.
Yes,
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
someone, but
Baker did shoot someone. They did try to kill him.
Yeah. We
self-defense.
assumed that was the case, as one guy had a cleaver,
hmm
and probably, in fact, would have attacked you, given a chance. So you shot him. We know we know that he didn't die, since nobody was in the landing, and you did see blood, so you know you hit him.
well, that his friend
And,
dragged him away. There were two of
His
them.
friend, yes, friend helped him to safety. So you definitely hit him. You don't know how bad you hit him. So he could be dying right now. He could be getting better right now. We don't know.
So we're
You
making
also-
a hasty retreat.
You also recognized one of the men as one of the ones who had come to the church.
Baker did.
So
Yes.
yeah, so we know those were Caleb Brown's followers.
I think I fill you in as we're dragging our friend away.
Okay, that sounds good.
The guy from the church.
I try to get a description from Baker if he can describe him to me.
You didn't get a great look at the man either time,
Okay.
but he's like many in that neighborhood, thin, sallow. This one had what appeared to be pox scars across the nose and left cheek. Unfortunately, you've probably described 10% of the population of Limehouse.
Okay, but I get a hair color. No other distinguishing features.
None that you
Okay.
could see.
So I don't have any clue if I noticed this guy before or not.
You probably did at the church, but there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, right.
And when you think back at it, you think, yeah, there are some people who could fit that description.
Okay.
So you probably did cross paths with him at one point or another, and just didn't pick
Okay.
him out of the crowd at that point.
I haven't treated anybody in that neighborhood.
Who fits? No, not who fits that description.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks the pox scarring looks old. In other words, he had a bout of smallpox as a child, and he survived.
So whose house is closest? We're not going back to the club like this.
Yeah. Whose place is closest?
Yeah, to where we are now. We need to get. Unless you just want to gloss over it, we need to get Edgeworth someplace where I can
Yeah.
examine him and see how badly injured he is.
Well, Illingsworth took the apartment, which is the one you're leaving from, which means Baker lives in a really nicer neighborhood.
Yeah, Baker's good.
Which means it's either going to be Edgeworth or Payne. So one of you two. So I don't have a die handy. I've got a number, either 1 or 2 in my hand here. So one of you pick a number. Whichever one wins is closer.
Go ahead, Edgeworth.
1.
Got it. So your place is closer.
All right, we're gonna take him to his house.
Okay.
Oh wait, his father doesn't like him though. There was some kind of we know about there's some familial problems going on with Edgeworth at his home. So I'm gonna ask him if he wants us to take him home
Yeah.
or not.
It is the
Or
It is the
some
closer place.
place
But
else.
you're right. It may have that issue.
Yeah, I remember that.
If it's not too much trouble, gentlemen, I would rather not my father see me like this.
All right, we're taking him to my house.
Okay. That's
We'll
a
go-
bit further, but also can be done.
We'll go right in the front door to my office, and I'll have him lay down on the table, and I'll examine him once we get there.
Your wife actually will, of course, hear you come in. Or
Yeah,
actually, more correctly,
That's fine.
the downstairs. Actually, do you have a butler, or do you just have a downstairs maid?
Butler.
Okay. So
Actually,
butler will. How many servants do you employ?
probably just an average number. 2 or 3, maybe 4 tops.
So actually, in your case, probably 3. So probably
Okay.
a downstairs maid, a lady's maid, and a valet. So it's the downstairs maid, Helena. I like Helena. It's good.
Helena's the downstairs maid. Great.
She was reading in the parlor, and when
Oh.
you come in like that, she jumps up, basically losing control of the book. She still gets weirdly startled when you come in with people who are bleeding. You know, you
Is he
think after,
bleeding?
like,
I thought it was all blunt
Yep.
trauma.
oh, actually, you're right. It is people who are disheveled. You think
We-
she'd get used to it by this point?
Well, I'm all in black too. I'm wearing a black
Yeah.
suit that's unusual for me. I don't know what Baker's wearing. Um,
You would think she would be a little calmer about these things, or maybe it's just an affectation to freak out for a moment. At this point, it may well be just her thing now to freak out.
that's
She was into the book, and they just startled her. So
Or maybe she was very deep into what she was reading.
Right.
Yes.
Either way, do you want her to tell your wife about this?
Oh, no need.
Okay.
We'll be up directly, Helena.
Okay. Do you need her to get you anything?
No. I don't think
Okay.
so. I'll call if I point to one of the bell pulls and I note that I will call if I need anything, and then we'll scurry into the examining room near the front door where my patients usually go. Get him on a table and I'll examine him. Can I still do some first aid on him and give him maybe a point back?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is exactly what this is for. So either medicine or first aid, whichever you prefer here.
I think first aid is fine. They're both about the same. So 63 out of a 70 is a success. So that should give him 1 hit point back, right?
D3, I think it's a D3 actually.
Is it? I'll take a D3.
Yeah.
3. Ooh.
Yeah. So as it turns out,
First
much of
aid.
that impact just knocked the wind out of you. And when you examine him, you realize it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No broken bones, no broken ribs, nothing like that. Great.
Yeah, no, he landed flat, really got the wind knocked out of him, but landed on a relatively giving surface.
Great. I'm going to
And
prescribe some brandy. For
Landed
him.
basically, spread out a little bit, which meant he minimized the impact. Whether he meant to or not, he minimized the impact nicely.
Meanwhile, Edgeworth is just on the table, like, "Oh, I'm dying, doctor. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. I can feel it."
This medicine
Well-
should cure you right up, and I'm going to
Oh.
give him I'm going to give him what looks like an official little thing that you take medicine from, but it's just very strong brandy.
Gotcha. Yeah, and the reality is, from Edgeworth's perspective, as the adrenaline wears off, everything starts to get sore.
Oh
So
yeah.
everything feels awful.
He's gonna
But the
limp.
reality is, it feels bad. It's not really damage. You're just sore.
All right. I'm gonna tell him
But
that he's fine.
once the adrenaline kicks out, that soreness is going to kick in a lot.
You're fine, but you'll be
And
sore
you
tomorrow.
Yeah, you might feel like you're dying.
Haven't you ever been thrown from a horse, Edgeworth?
No,
Oh.
I'm
Well-
a carriage boy.
Nothing's broken. nothing's sprained. Everything seems to be working.
Yeah, and honestly, you've seen people thrown from horses who've gotten hit a lot harder than this.
Oh yeah, broken arms, broken legs, killed.
Yeah.
I'd
People
assume
have
that
died that way.
Dr. Payne has probably fallen from a horse at least once, and
Yeah.
it's been about like this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wait.
It's,
They can stay as long as they want, as far as like until Edgeworth is feeling up to heading home, or we could call him a carriage if he wishes to ride home.
Or you've probably got space to put up for a couple of people if you need to.
Or
Most
they can
houses
stay.
have-
Yeah,
Most houses have at least one extra room
they can stay the night then. Yeah.
where a person could stay if they wanted to.
So that's up to you.
So, if Mr. Edgeworth doesn't want to deal with his father tonight, he could have another drink and stay here. If you're okay with
Nice.
that.
I guess I have to go then. I have my own place, right?
You can stay too if you want.
You-
If you don't
you
want to
can
be
if
out on
you
the
want to.
streets at night.
Yeah, it's up to you. You can either take a carriage home, walk home, ride home, or stay here.
Or go back to the club if you want.
Or go back,
Yeah.
go back to the club.
As a-
Sleepover.
Sleep over, you're gonna stay? Alright.
Yeah, if all of you stay, it might get a little crowded. That is to say, you might have to share a room, but whatever.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
Our other option is that one of us returns to the club to let Illingsworth know what happened. And see if Cameron and Collins are still there. Probably not Mr. Edgeworth here.
That's a good point because Illingsworth's still at the club and does not know what happened.
No. I could go. I'll have to get changed first.
Yeah. From here, it's a walk of about 5 minutes to the
Right.
club.
So what's your
So,
pleasure, gentlemen? Shall I go to the
or
club?
you
Do you,
could you
or
could
do you want
also
to go, Mr.
you,
Baker?
you could also send your valet. Let's give him. Do we know his name? No, we do not.
No, haven't named any of these people yet.
Toby. I like Toby.
Toby.
Yeah, you could send
Do I
Toby
call
to
him
carry a
by his
message.
first name or his
Yeah,
last name, though?
he's a valet.
Yeah.
If he was a butler, it would be by last name.
Well, Jeeves was a valet.
Yeah. Generally, butlers and senior servants are referred to by last name.
Oh,
Junior
okay.
servants are usually referred to by first name.
That's fine. Or I
And
could send a
Toby
note.
is yeah, and Toby is young. I mean,
Oh,
he's
okay.
what, 17,
And he's
uh,
strong.
moderately so.
Yeah, and
He also was hoping to be effectively your apprentice. In other words, if he really
oh,
had his way, he would learn the art of surgery from you
oh,
and become a surgeon.
okay. I could probably start. I'll
He doesn't
probably
want to
teach
be a
him.
servant his whole life. That's really what he wants.
Hmm. Yeah, I could take
Whether
him
you
on
could
as my
teach him is up to
apprentice.
you.
Does he know how to use a gun?
Not much more than you.
Damn. Okay. Um. So what do you gentlemen wish to do? Should we send a note, or should one of us go to let Illingsworth know that it's all done?
Uh, I I think it depends on how much we want to risk the note being intercepted if we're worried about repercussions. Baker, have you let us know that you were seen? That
Yes, he told
you
us. He
recognized?
filled us in on the way back. He said
Yeah, I think he shared everything that happened,
hmm
including the gunshot.
the
In that
men,
case,
they were from the church. Here's what they look like. Blah blah blah.
in that
Yeah,
case, actually, we might want to send the note to Illingsworth that bring him back here because if people are looking out for Baker,
Well, I could go as well.
you could also
Do you want me to? I'll need to get changed.
go.
I'm gonna take them upstairs then, and show them
okay,
the spare room, which has a couple of
okay.
small beds, like twin beds.
Yeah, enough for two. You got this room. Two people can sleep
Yeah,
comfortably.
yeah. So, and then I will alert Toby to see to the gentleman's needs. I must go out. I will go to my
Okay.
dressing room, change into regular togs, to my regular clothing,
Yep.
tuck my pistol in, my foldable pistol in my pocket, and make my way across town or over to the club real quick.
Yep. Is Illingsworth still there?
Good question.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. So you've been keeping your eyes on Cameron and Connor.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Ooh.
actually, yeah, are they still there? That's
They are.
okay.
The two of them have been spending much of their time either digging through the club's library or
Ooh.
playing billiards.
Okay.
And often as not, it's a change off kind of deal. Like one of them will be shooting billiards while the other is reading. And then
Okay.
they will sort of tag out.
Oh, we learned some things about these fellows too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Their predilections and predilections.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like they are
I think I can use
lovers.
those words for both of those things.
Yeah.
One, their relationship, and two, their interest in the occult. So they are apparently both lovers and potentially magicians.
Don't like that.
Which also, of course, makes one wonder precisely what they're reading.
Kama Sutra.
No, not that.
We know what
If
they're
you
reading. We went through their library.
Well, what are they reading in the club's library?
Oh yeah.
If you want to be stealthy about it, you can attempt to find out.
Do it. Do it. Take a risk.
He's stealthy. No, that's not.
I'm the devil. I'm the devil. Do
Either,
That
it.
won't work. That won't work.
either by stealth or by being polite and finding a reason to interrupt someone who's reading to make conversation,
Oh, that's true.
or I suppose being
Yeah,
rude and
I.
finding a reason to excuse yourself and interrupt someone making. Yeah, you ain't that.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
might turn to one of them at some point in time and just casually ask them if they're reading anything interesting.
Now that will get you at least an in. This while Cameron is, and will get you a brief. No, not really. In other
Okay,
words, turning down any potential conversation to go back to whatever it is that he's reading.
that's fine.
Uh, what
Yeah.
you what you will notice is that the text is in Greek.
Okay.
You recognize Greek letters,
Okay.
and you can check later to see how many of the library or how much of the club's library is in Greek.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no English facing on that one, and Mr. Cameron is taking an occasional note in a commonplace book.
Okay.
And he's using a pencil for this purpose.
So, what's a commonplace book? I don't know if I'm familiar with what that is. Is that?
It's a general
That's just
purpose.
like
a general purpose notebook. They're bought blank.
That he keeps on himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a diary where you write every day. It's
right.
more
I
like
gotcha.
a notebook
it's
where you
just
keep
a little
track of things that are interesting.
Yeah, I gotcha. It's just a little notebook. All right.
Yeah, and for ease of it, he's using a graphite pencil.
Gotcha.
So that way he can keep it in his pocket, pull it out, and start writing whenever he wants to. So he'll occasionally make a note in his commonplace book. His notes are in what appears to be some kind of shorthand.
Okay.
Because he's using English letters, not Greek letters. But he's not writing words, he's writing just like strings of letters. So he's using some kind of shorthand or code.
Okay.
Not something
I would be able to get close enough to even see what he was writing down.
Well, if you wait for him to do that and then walk up from behind, you'll be able to see both those things.
Okay.
And then when he tells you he's not interested in conversation, you walk away.
Gotcha.
So
all right.
You don't get much, but you do get the language he's reading and the fact that he's writing something in a notebook.
Okay. All right.
And then he'll go back to that.
Okay.
You'll also notice that he will share the notebook with Connor.
Okay.
Like, he shows him the notebook. So whatever system of shorthand he's using, both of them know how to read it.
Right.
Because he doesn't explain it. He shows him the notebook, and the other guy takes it, turns a page, looks at it, acknowledges what he's read, takes the notebook, and adds a few notes himself. In other words, they're sharing one notebook.
Gotcha.
And best you can tell, they're actually reading the same Greek text. In other words, they're both looking at the same text. Good bet they're using two sets of eyes to get a sense of two interpretations of what they're reading.
Right.
Two opinions on what this means.
Right.
And probably later they're going to have a discussion as to what they read and what each one thinks it means.
Okay.
So that's where you are when Dr. Payne arrives and looks for you.
Yeah, I look around first. I want to see what's going on and where he is in relation to Cameron and Collins before I approach him.
Probably not close at this point. You did that earlier, I expect?
No, yeah.
You're not hanging around close to them otherwise.
No. Like I said, I'd just be off in the corner somewhere, probably sipping on a drink, reading the paper or whatever, just...
Yeah, where you frequently are.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to catch his eye.
Okay.
I will head over to the bar to have a drink and try to just catch his eye. Catch Illingsworth's eye. Sorry.
Is it a dip?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go join Dr. Payne.
I'm just giving you like a look, and I'm going to drink my drink fairly quickly.
Yeah. Come over here so we can talk.
Yes.
And I'll go over to order a drink from the bar or whatever.
Yes, when you're finished, come.
I'm in the mood for a brandy right now.
Does he know where I live? Do I know? Have I already taken Illingsworth to my house?
Didn't we have a dinner there?
Yes, we did.
Was it there?
We had a dinner. We've been to Baker's house. We've been to Payne's house. And we've been to Illingsworth's apartment, obviously, just tonight. Because we did a dinner, and then we had a meeting in my study afterwards. That's because I showed him all my guns.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and besides, if you could always just tell him the street address.
That's
right.
true.
He won't have any difficulty finding it.
Come to my house when you have time. That's all I'm going to say to him when there's nobody around us.
Okay.
And then I'm going to finish my drink, and then I will look at my pocket watch.
The watch tells you it's 10 minutes past midnight.
Oh, dear. And then I'm going to hustle out of there.
Okay. On the way out...
Oh, no.
You will notice that there is a bit of a kerfuffle taking place in the stranger's room.
The what? The stranger's?
The stranger's room, the place where you can have visitors.
Oh, yeah. The one outside. Yeah.
Because here is something that, as far as we know, has never been seen in the Marlborough Club.
Is it a woman?
It is.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Is it Delacourt?
No.
Okay.
Don't know this woman, but she's explaining in accented English. Is that a French accent? That that Hester, who apparently is the guy who's currently on the door, is going to get out of her way now, and she does not give a good goddamn about these silly little English rules or whatever they are.
Oh no, Edward's going to fall in love with her too. That goes flitting through my mind.
You don't have to have anything to do with this if you don't want to.
Oh,
You could just slip around it and go.
it would be so unkind to just ignore a lady in need. Yes,
well,
I will step up.
There are rules, by the way, and she is violating all of them.
Oh, maybe we can diffuse the situation. Oh, wait, I'm terrible at social skills.
There's that too.
Well, that's all right.
Quiet, man. Make the roll. Come on.
I'm sorry. I
Devil
say,
on your
oh
shoulder.
dear, Miss, Mademoiselle, is something the matter?
And she'll stop and look at you. Oh, nothing is the matter, sir. It's just this fellow.
Oh yes, Hester.
Rolling her eyes in Hester's direction, who does not seem to understand how certain things work. Esther, by the way, is trying to explain exactly how certain things work.
Yes, please explain. I'll help you any way I can, ma'am. Miss, Mademoiselle. She looks young. Is she young?
Younger, yeah.
So Mademoiselle's is appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't speak French, but I know like 4 words.
Yeah.
4 words.
How is your... You should make yourself a social skill. Reassure would be the best thing to use.
Oh, I don't have any points in that.
Yeah, I know. Alternatively, charm would work.
Charm is a little better. But my character's not very charming. I basically wish to try to explain to her that he's just following the rules, but perhaps if you let me know what's the problem, I could help you.
Yeah, well, that's what charm is here, is making people...
50 out of 15! Woo!
Well, it's not catastrophic. It's just that she'll politely remind you that unless you are the manager here, you cannot help her.
Oh, do I know the manager? Or who's in
Of
charge?
course.
Is he around this time of night?
Someone will be in charge at this time of night.
Well, let me fetch
probably
someone who can help you.
The weekday evening manager is probably Mr. Charles.
Mr. Charles. Is he around? Do I see him?
Well, not in the stranger's
Probably
room.
not. Yeah.
He's either, good bet, he's either in the office, or he is somewhere either in the club's main room, in the library,
Okay.
or upstairs with one of the members. He's somewhere in the area that's accessible only to members.
Are women allowed in the stranger's room?
That's an excellent question to which you do not have a good answer.
Hester, are women allowed in the stranger's room?
Well, come to think on it, sir, I don't know.
Oh, we'll consider that a yes.
This is a gentleman's club, so in theory, no. But the stranger's room is a place for non-members, so in theory,
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, close enough.
By the way, Hester is very clearly trying to get out of this woman's way without losing his job.
Yeah. Mademoiselle, could you wait in this room over here? Could I bring you a drink, and then I'll bring you the the manager, whatever he's called, Mr. Charles. He's Mr. Charles.
I appreciate it, but I'll ask this gentleman to do his job, if you will. But thank you very much, sir.
Oh, well, I'm not sure if he's capable right now. You see, you can see how flustered he is.
I'll trust he'll manage the situation.
Well, very well.
Thank you. I do appreciate it.
I'll go look for Mr. Charles then. I'll try to help Hester out. He's always been a good knight.
Because Hester's about to do that. You will find Mr. Charles in his office.
Mr. Charles, there's an altercation happening at the in the front of the club.
And Hester will show up a moment later to say the same thing.
Oh, does the woman show up behind him?
Let's find out, shall we?
She acts like she's just going to walk in. That's why I figured somebody ought to man the door. Well,
yeah, except he followed you.
I told him I was going to go get Mr. Charles.
And she follows him.
Yeah, Hester's going to lose
his door a moment later.
Here she is.
Mr. Charles looks at the two of you, stammers out, we did not expect you, Your Grace. If you would please, gentlemen, doctor.
Yeah?
I'll handle it.
Good. And I will turn, and I will give her a little bow-ish nod, and then I will go on my merry way. Your Grace. Interesting.
Yeah, you didn't screw that up, but...
I'm not going to talk. That'll help. That always helps.
Yeah.
I should have just looked at me.
Well, clearly a title holder, which is why she thinks she's going to get away with this.
Not my problem.
And Mr. Charles seemed directed. So, by the way, downstairs, Illingsworth, you are in the club when you'll see her come through. And
Okay.
a whole lot of people are doing like the...
Yeah. No, I'm probably kind of one of them.
Yeah, like, it's very few people who don't turn and mouth, what
Right.
the fuck, in so many words, watching her go past. And heading for the stairs right behind the two of them. In other words, she's following Dr. Payne and Mr. Hester.
Hester? What a dumbass. Okay. I'm going to stop by Illingsworth on my way out.
Yep.
And I'm going to whisper to him to wait a few minutes before going and see if she talks to CNC. And then I'm going to make my way out of the club and back home.
Okay. And wise to have done that,
Just
because the
in
short
case.
answer is yes.
Ha! I knew it!
She's upstairs for about 20 minutes. Then she comes downstairs with Mr. Charles,
20 minutes.
who goes with her directly to the stranger's room, and then comes back in and asks for Mr. Cameron to please make his way to the stranger's room.
Okay.
So apparently, whoever this woman is, she did in fact want to talk to one or both of them.
It all gets down to Illingsworth again.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, outside, as Dr. Payne leaves, you will notice a carriage outside.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to examine it as closely as I can without being rude.
It's expensive. There's a uniformed driver
Cone of
sitting on
arms?
the box. How much do you know about heraldry?
Nothing.
So,
But I can memorize what it is and look it up later.
Yes, it has a heraldic device. Don't know whose it is or what that means.
Okay, but can I note what
remember
it
it.
is? Yeah, I'll try to remember what it is.
And by her accent, she's probably
She's
either
French.
French or Swiss or maybe Alsace or something like that.
Netherlands,
In other words, her
Belgium.
accent, or somewhere where the population is probably more francophone.
Okay.
So you have a geographic region to start and a coat of arms.
Okay.
So if you get your hands on a reference book, you can probably look it up.
I probably don't have any at home. I go home.
No.
If Edgeworth and Baker are still awake, then I will let them know of this odd occurrence.
Yep.
And
And
ask
Mr.
them if they
Illingsworth, are you-
recognize any of that heraldry.
Are you eavesdropping?
Am I?
Yes.
I do think I want to try to eavesdrop.
Yes.
Okay. Unless you're
I-
willing to enter the stranger's room, you're going to need a listen roll.
Yeah, I'm not going to enter the stranger's room. I do want to stay outside of it, but
Just go
Yeah,
with the
'cause
paper and sit down and be like, I'm expecting someone.
Yeah, because you can. You're legally allowed to. It just you probably will look suspicious if you do so.
oh yeah.
Just throw money around.
So
That solves everything.
if you're doing it from the
I
other
was
side
saying-
of the door, a listen roll will be required.
Yeah, right now I'm going to try a listen roll,
Okay.
and I failed.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
You could push, but if
Ooh.
you do and fail, you're definitely going to be seen and potentially lose reputation. As someone on this side of the door will wonder what you are doing.
You're standing
Yeah.
there like this.
Yeah, because the point is,
Yeah,
what you're doing
I
right now is
I,
right now what you're doing is you're sitting in a chair close to the door. Pushing would be basically leaning in.
Hester's
right,
over there.
No,
He picks
Yeah.
up a cup.
no, yeah,
This-
I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna push it. And
Yeah.
put my head against the door.
Yeah, take a risk.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, and I failed it even worse.
Oh no.
And you will notice several people looking at you.
And then I
With that
just
sort of
quickly.
What are you? And of course, the problem here is they saw the woman enter the stranger's room, which means it doesn't take much for them to put two and two together and make you look like you are doing exactly what you are in fact doing.
Right. No, and so
They're getting a bunch
I,
of dirty looks.
that's fine. And I guess I'll act embarrassed and head into the whatever drawing room or whatever the other common room.
Yeah, you
My
want to walk
house.
away now,
My house.
Yeah.
or leave the club entirely.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that does make more sense. That's the perfect time to just leave altogether. So.
Okay. Yeah. Given that people are kind of looking daggers at you, it's time to just get your hat and coat and leave.
Yep.
Just dropped
Okay,
a
so you
book
make
on
your
the
way to-
floor and pretend you're like reaching for it. I don't want to get
Yeah.
up. I don't want to get up.
Yeah, it was a little too obvious with that move.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the things about the club is that it has thick doors. Privacy is a thing.
Stupid privacy.
Remember,
All the more
many of you-
reason. All the more reason to make it.
God, we
All the more.
cannot.
It's forbidden fruit.
We can't
So-
overhear
Remember,
anybody.
well, remember, many of you joined this club precisely because of its library.
I
its
know.
privacy.
Oh,
Yeah.
here's a question though. Even a failed pushed roll can, at the keeper's decision, give some information or allow for some modicum
Yeah.
of success. No.
No, but you
right.
get it. It was a reminder of how thick that door is and
Oh,
why
yeah,
you joined
okay.
this club in the first place.
Damn it.
Also, a reminder that this is a good place to have private conversations for exactly the same reason,
Yeah.
The stranger's room.
or any place in this club.
Okay.
The point is, the Marlborough Club is a great place for having private conversations. Part of the reason most of you joined it. So,
This isn't the Marlborough Club.
oh, sorry, not the Marlborough.
We're the oh
what's the name? I
God,
forgot.
I've forgotten too. It's written down. The Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. I knew
Club.
it was an M.
Yeah.
I knew it was an M.
Yeah.
The Mountbatten. The point of it is that's something you guys can use to your advantage as well. It's a great place to have a conversation that's hard for other people to overhear. So that's what you got. It's a reminder that this is a great place to do things like this.
Yeah.
So,
They're
on the
meeting-
other hand, so is your house.
They're meeting with the French. They're traitors.
Is she a spy?
Not if she's a countess or some bullshit. Anyway, when I'm gonna let Edgeworth and Baker know everything that I saw about this lady. I don't know if they have any knowledge of heraldry.
Yeah, could I potentially make a roll to try and recognize the heraldry?
And what would that be?
What skill would you be using for that? Oh, wait a minute.
History,
History, education.
knowledge.
Well, actually, if you come
How's
from
that?
if you have that kind of status yourself, and you actually come from a noble family yourself, education might help here.
Yeah.
Because that's something
Hey!
you might have encountered as part of your basic
Oh.
education.
Okay.
Mhm.
My family was a failed nobility, so
Yeah.
Grandpa
And
has a
your-
title, but I don't know. If I'm not.
And your education was largely focused around your career.
Yes, it's doctoral, doctor stuff, physician education.
Yep.
What'd you get? You are muted, Edgeworth.
Yeah, Graham, you're muted.
Yep, sorry, just had a little business. Yes, sorry, I will roll my no roll. My apologies for that.
Okay. How'd you do?
89 out of 70.
God, the dice are killing us tonight.
I
Um,
know. I
well,
have a good no roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Better than mine.
you know the major houses, which means she's not one of the more significant families.
Not
Okay.
significant
Like,
family.
given that her accent felt French,
That's,
so for instance, definitely not Bourbon or Valois or any of those.
okay.
Charles called her Your Grace.
Yeah, what's that
It's usually
mean?
reserved for a duchess or a countess.
Okay.
So she's not a relative of a noble. She carries a title in her own name.
All right.
If you
There's
don't
a-
recognize her heraldry like that, she's probably belongs to one of the minor houses.
Nothing in
So
the
possibly Belgian, Dutch, Swiss, West Germany, East France, like Alsace-Lorraine.
nothing in the Times or even one of the less reputable papers about anyone visiting from the continent, a duchess or a
not that you read.
countess. Okay.
The social register would have mentioned that. I don't know how many of you read the social register on a regular basis.
I read everything.
And the fact that it wasn't mentioned means either she's small enough that nobody noticed, or she made a point of arriving unannounced.
Okay, but still in a carriage with her coat of arms.
Yeah.
Because
In other words, arrived in England without sending an announcement.
okay.
So information about her arrival will probably be in next week's edition.
Oh, gotcha.
In other words, she got here ahead of the announcement that she's coming, which may have been deliberate on her part.
Okay.
If she had something important to do, or someone important to meet or something, and didn't want to be known, she made a point of arriving ahead of news that she arrived.
Yeah, she wants a grace period.
Well, I let them know also that Illingsworth's going to see if she's going to go talk to Cameron and Collins.
Yeah.
because I
And
have
when
my
he arrives,
suspicions.
which I believe he will,
Like 20 minutes
Yeah.
later,
Sure.
half an hour later.
yeah, he can tell you that she sure did.
And that's all he got.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
tried. He tried and got caught.
Oh dear! Oh no, Illingsworth, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So,
But how
We
daring
don't know
of
what they
you!
talked about.
Here, have a drink. So they spoke to her. Okay. Well, as long as we're all here,
What?
gentlemen.
say one went to talk to her or whatever. at least.
Although it
So-
is 12:30.
So then
It's 12:30
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
We could have a meeting now or wait till later, is what the doctor basically says. Should we speak about this now?
Oh, you're all here.
Yeah, we are all here. That was my
We're
suggestion.
saying,
You
yeah,
could get
we're
yourself
here.
another
It's
round of brandy
fresh-
or coffee if you prefer.
fresh in the mind.
Well, what should we do then next, Edgeworth?
The question is is this woman a threat or a potential ally?
Oh. Well, she's not going to be
Because-
an ally of Illingsworth, not when they tell her that he's been listening in on her conversations, or trying
That's
to.
true.
I didn't even hear anything. That's a shame.
That is a
Yeah.
shame.
The question
Someone
is,
told her you are not her friend right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh.
The question is she going to complicate matters? Is she even related to matters?
Well, we're not going to be able to find that out easily. But my question is, do we approach Connor? You were speaking earlier. We mumbled to each other during our housebreaking of I'm still saying that real quiet. I don't like that.
As if anyone here is.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
Of talking to Connors and Cameron. Is that still on the table, do you think?
I want to know their angle on this. The fascination with the Book of Enoch.
Well, you do know one thing now. Good bet. What were the two church members doing outside their apartment? With
They're
with
not-
cleaver?
Oh yeah, they're going to rob him.
They're not.
And I think actually one had a
Or-
cleaver. Didn't the other one have a Jimmy
Club.
bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had we thought they were going to break in.
They were
To-
Yeah, one of them
the
had a
apartment.
pry bar.
Yeah, they
What
were
else would
definitely
they bring a
breaking
pry bar
in.
for?
They're clearly, whatever their connection to this, they're clearly opposed to the church, or rather, the church is clearly opposed to them. Whether or not they know,
Yeah, that's something else. We don't know their opinion of the church. We know the church's opinion of them.
Well, we do know
Yeah.
they have been. Their notes said that they've been following. They've been trying to get to Brown as far as to find out whether or not he knew where this Azazel was. They think that he knows where Azazel is. They want to know where Azazel is. It didn't tell us why they wanted to know, but they
No.
definitely want to see this thing for some reason.
Yeah.
That's what we learned last time in their notes.
yeah,
And from their own behaviors, we assume that they are also potentially magicians. So
trying to
an
summon.
encounter with Anzula, or whatever it's called,
The Shantak.
would be potentially beneficial from that purpose. If
So-
they thought
I
they could learn
recollect
something valuable from that.
If when I shot the person, blood was left at the scene.
Oh, it blew out his back, remember, and splattered all over the wall.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So, if the person we were looking for came back, do you think they're still there? I would have hightailed it if I found blood outside my house.
Who?
Or my
Collins and Cameron?
Yeah.
No, I'm sure the police are there right now.
Or, they haven't gone home yet,
No,
so we
they've-
don't know what happens
yeah,
when
this
they
is the
see
same
blood in
night.
the hallway outside their apartment.
Right.
Yeah. What we need. They don't know they're in danger yet, and we don't know if the cult was clearly either trying to break in or lay a trap for them.
Yeah, or kill them, yes, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. So we
Well,
have
hold on, a thought here.
yeah.
A trap seems odd, given one of the would-be burglars was holding a pry bar.
True.
In other words, they were
They
going to
might have
break in
been-
in a way that would have been obvious.
They might have been,
They're-
yeah. They might have been trying
So
to
the
break
only
in to
kind of-
just quick murder these guys and then make a run
Yeah.
for it. But more likely they were there for...
They
to burgle
brought
them.
a cleaver
Yeah.
instead of a gun, so they wanted it to be quiet.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
might
if they
not
don't
have
own a
known
gun.
where they were, and just assumed that they would be in their apartment, or they might have been going there for something, and killing them would have been a happy accident.
It's exactly what we were doing, to go there for something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
we need,
how do we approach him? I'm a terrible liar, Edgeworth. I'll tell you this right now. You
It
all
could
know
be
I'm a terrible liar.
it could be another moment of honesty being the best policy. They don't know they're in danger yet. If we don't tell them,
But
that could be bad.
how do we explain how we know about all this and how we know the knowledge we know about them that we learned from the housebreaking?
We
How-
could
Well,
omit
first, we could say that we saw suspicious characters by their house, but we don't know how to explain that we know where they live, right?
we could be
Correct.
we could be partially honest, and because Baker was assaulted, and we could say we went to their house or to their apartment to try and talk to them because we want to we know we have suspicions that they're somehow connected to this. We
So
don't
you're trying
let
to
on.
pin me to a location where blood is found.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but they're not going to go to the police. I doubt very much. We're not going to go to the police with this information. We're going to go to Collins and Cameron, and who among us will be involved in "We were waiting for you." Remember, I'm a terrible liar.
Mhm.
I don't believe in lying. It's a bad thing.
So we don't lie. We selectively tell the truth.
The doctor, you notice, is very nervous about this. And I will confess that I'm not good at playing cards either, and if other things require bluffing.
Alternatively, we try to warn them anonymously. We send a note giving
Yes.
them a warning.
But that doesn't help us any.
No, it would just send them to ground.
Yes. They might just disappear. We might not be able to follow them.
So
Your idea is correct that one of us was waiting, or two of us were waiting, or even three of us, if you wish to go that route. I think Illingsworth should stay as well. Illingsworth's reputation has just been destroyed by his
completely
attempting to eavesdrop on them. I'm sure it'll be all around the club tomorrow, so they'll know Illingsworth is up to something, unless he starts eavesdropping on everyone.
I'm sure I could just say curiosity got the better of me, and I won't let it happen again.
That's
and
true.
As long as I don't.
Because so far, Illingsworth is not connected directly with Dr. Blythe, or really anything else that's happened with Cameron and Collins. It would be nice to have someone who they don't suspect somewhere around, who's not a part of the group. So I would advise keeping his name out of anything. But I just don't know how are we going to tell them. What should we do, Edgeworth? I'm at a loss.
Well, first off, whatever we decide, we need privacy. We need to bring them to a space where we can discuss things without the danger of, listening ears. Unwanted.
Someone's home.
Most likely.
Yours is
How well
out.
mine is out. How well do you trust your staff, Dr. Payne?
Oh, very well. But again, I'm a terrible liar, and if I'm part of that, I'm afraid I'll give myself away.
Mr. Baker?
What skill is lying in?
Fast talk.
Fast talk, yeah.
I have big 5%. I did not give the doctor social skills. He is socially terribly clumsy, with an awful bedside manner.
You 60?
I have 15.
Oh, okay.
I was almost happy for a moment, Josh.
So was I. I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, are you good at weaving a tale?
Absolutely not.
All right.
5%.
Then truth is the only way to go. For us. Wait, Mr. Illingsworth, you're not a very good liar, are you?
No.
All right. I didn't mean to be offensive by asking.
No. It's quite all right.
This
Like I
is
said,
what happens when we don't go on the staff.
That's okay.
A defense, as I said, I let curiosity get to the better of me, and that's not a lie. That would not be a lie.
When Dr. Payne dies, I'll bring in a burglar or something. All the bad stuff. His reputation is in the toilet. Anyway, well then, should we tell them the truth? I'm a little nervous about that because we did break the law.
We did, but it's not as if that they aren't as curious as we are, and if we present it as a mutual exchange,
Well, should it be all
perhaps.
three of us, you and me and Baker, that go, or
Hmm.
should it just be you and Baker?
I'm willing to take the chance myself if you want to initially not be connected to this.
I think the few
If
of us
I,
who
I,
are who confess to housebreaking, the better.
I could sort of liaise, say that I represent a larger group that has similar interests without giving any names.
I wouldn't give them more information than you have
Mm.
to be honest. The less they know, the better. And then if you actually note that Mr. Baker, because he could be
Well,
completely unconnected with this. He was just waiting for Illingsworth to come home.
yeah,
And
that
suddenly
aside,
these men came
I
at
mean,
him and attacked him.
they
Didn't even know
don't know.
Cameron and Collins lived there.
They don't even know that they've been broken into. From the door was sealed. The
Yes.
only thing out of place was an open window.
Hmm.
So at the moment, there's nothing tying us to their apartment. We didn't take anything.
Okay. What if we approach them, however many of us,
Mhm.
and merely ask them and say that how would we put this that's not trying to lie to them? We have been you could tell them we've been looking into this whole Father Brown, Reverend Brown thing,
Mhm.
and we're at a loss at what to do. That they seem trustworthy, and that first night with Dr. Blythe, Mr. Cameron was trying to help. I go from there, and there's kind of Dr. Payne doesn't know how to approach this very well.
It is a,
Yeah,
it's
I've
a tough
noticed.
chestnut.
It is a chestnut, yes. Um, I'm
Uh,
nervous about just coming straight out and telling them everything because I don't trust them.
that's
If they're
fair.
conjuring up monsters,
Mhm.
um, I feel there's a certain danger there. We could also wait a couple of days and meet again, say Friday, and see what turns up in the paper about this shooting.
Mm.
And I hate to react, I'd rather act, but
Um,
We,
just a
we,
question. Are there obituaries
oh, that's a good question.
nowadays?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
And do those obituaries have pictures or drawings of the
No.
deceased?
generally not.
Just just names.
Yeah,
Does it? Does it?
and
Is there an
biography.
address? Well, what if they're poor?
For the poor, rarely do they get even any kind of obituary.
Okay.
We
there's a,
could we could have a spy maybe just keep watch on the church and see if the
That would
person
be me.
shows up.
Yes, remember the little part the home invasion we did last session was a bit of a side quest to get more information on what they had. Uh, we still think that there's something more going on in the church, potentially in
Yeah.
the basement, and there was another location that we wanted to investigate.
There's Maiden
Uh,
Castle,
yes.
the basement of the church. Those are both suspicious areas.
Mhm.
Um, has anything been in the newspaper about Blythe getting his tablet back, or have they kept that quiet?
They've kept that quiet.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
No, I think it's a great idea, but um, oh,
Wait.
Edgeworth.
Oh, are you thinking?
I'm thinking if you approach Cameron with a secret
Uh-huh.
that Dr. Blythe has retrieved his tablet from this dastardly Reverend Brown fellow.
That might give them to give more information.
Maybe depends on how you approach it, and you don't even have to talk about anything that has occurred. You might want to again wait a day or two. If you come to them the day after a man was shot in the hallway outside their apartment, the the timing might seem a little coincidental.
See, I was thinking something else.
Hmm.
Okay, we know the cult is fixated on the tablet.
Yes.
They're probably at their wits' end searching for it. If we gave them a scent, perhaps we could lead them away from the church, at least some of their muscle.
Well, probably only at night when they break into whatever place the tablet is supposed to be kept at.
Hmm.
Can you make a counterfeit
Ooh,
of the tablet
an excellent
and lay a
point,
trap?
Dr.
You
Payne.
might at least be able to capture Mr. Graves.
It's true, we don't need to assault the church. We could bring them to us.
Mm.
Flies and honey, if you will.
We could
Mhm.
implement all these plans. If you wish to use Cameron, the knowledge of the return of the tablet, you could even just say to Mr. Cameron, "Oh, I noticed you were interested that night, and I felt I
Mm.
should tell you this, but it's a secret. That it was recovered, and just leave it at that, and see what he has to say about that." And if
Mm.
he asks where it is, you could give him the same location as the fake, and we can see what happens there. Um, if anyone has
All
to
of these,
watch the church,
all of these are interesting.
if anyone has to watch the church, it should probably be me. I am somewhat accepted by the people of the neighborhood, and I actually thought about approaching Reverend Brown at some point, um, to
By the
note
way,
my.
Andy, your video is frozen.
Oh no, it looks
It's
okay.
not for it's not for me.
Okay,
Okay,
it's
yours
okay
is
on my
frozen
screen
too.
too. Oh, okay.
So
You've probably got a glitch going or some kind of bad connection.
It's good on my
Yeah,
screen too.
my
You could leave and come back if you want.
close Discord and come back.
If you want to fix it, I don't know if that'll do it or not, but it might.
That normally
okay.
works for me.
Because I watch
Okay, I'll
myself talk half the time when I'm fucking talking. I'm obsessed with myself
okay,
apparently.
okay. I'll do that then. I'm going to step out. You
Okay,
guys can keep planning, and I'll
okay.
step right back in.
Oh,
Okay,
where
I
was
got.
I? Oh, I was thinking about approaching Reverend Brown to tell him how disturbed I was at seeing this, and that I feel that I need some further guidance from him.
Yep, that seems to have fixed it.
Okay, great. That I
Like,
need to talk to him if possible, and um, perhaps we could meet somewhere. He could come someplace to speak to me about this, or at
hold
least let
him
him know
tight.
I want to understand, because I do. That's true, and something along those lines. I've been thinking about talking to him about, preferably before Friday.
Your connection to the impossible room, are they aren't
Possible
going to move?
chain.
Sorry, impossible chamber. My apologies. I used low English there. I'm sorry.
The vulgar tongue.
The vulgar tongue, peasant speak. Anyway, uh, uh,
We both have a hearty laugh.
the classism. Uh, so the impossible chamber. Remind me, they're not planning on moving on Brown because they
No,
don't have any information. They don't have
they don't have
enough
the
on.
resources.
No, no, not enough resources, and they don't have. He doesn't present enough of a threat from their perspective yet to justify the moving.
Well, I think he presents enough of a threat, but they don't have the resources to move in on him if he's got this entire neighborhood on his side. It
Yeah,
would
Mm.
that's
require a
more the
small
issue.
army in order to actually like assault that church
But
and hope
if you
to.
were able to, if you're able to pull him out, would they be
Yes.
able to? Would they be able
Oh,
to snatch him?
maybe.
If we
I'll have
like,
to. I'll send them a note with the possible plan and see if that's something to their liking. But they are very secretive people,
understandable.
unfortunately.
They seem to be very much helping those who help themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is very much the case.
So, what
So, what are we going to do? We have a lot of different plans here that we could
we've
potentially.
got, we've got different routes. We definitely want to
Um,
get into the church basement at some point. We want
Yeah.
uh, we we definitely want to we need to make some kind of connection to the magicians just because for no
hmm,
other for nothing else but to let them know they're in danger because they don't know they're in danger and their deaths, I don't think will serve us.
Well,
You may have to act quickly on that, by the way, because if they leave the club and head for that apartment, they're going to find out there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's blood on the wall outside their apartment.
That's true.
And they could be leaving the club any old minute now.
So so who's going to do that? I don't think more than one of us should risk ourselves.
If
you're going to do that, you better do it now.
Yeah, Edgeworth, that's your job.
If we're pressed on time, I will. I'll get going. Now, basically.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going by yourself?
I would hope not.
Are you armed?
I'm not armed.
Well,
no, I have the pistol.
Yeah, the foldable pistol. Yeah. Baker, how do you feel about going?
To go clean up the crime scene?
No. Just to go make sure that Cameron and Collins are warned in whatever way you wish to do so.
In other words, that their warning is something other than discovering a lot of blood in the hallway outside their apartment.
And a bunch of cops walking around going like, looks like somebody was murdered right outside your room.
Yeah. Except that the murderee walked away.
Let's
the murder.
Let's take a vote.
They all did. A vote.
Yeah, everybody did.
Let's take a vote. So I think we should try and bring these two to a neutral third location, and then engage to open up dialogue and see what information we can exchange.
Okay, all right.
That's. I think that honesty has served us so far, honestly, and that if they're not aligned with the cult, that they're, for better or worse, our allies in this. Enemy of an enemy.
Sounds good, Edgeworth. You speak so well.
Oh, thank you.
Go and do that.
But okay, that's my side. Does anyone have any? Alternatives? Because I think the keeper is telling us that we are pressed for time.
Well,
no,
one issue you are.
We are for tonight. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Baker.
You're pressed for time on one issue only.
Yeah, go ahead.
That Collins and Cameron, if they leave the club and go to that apartment, there's blood on the wall outside the apartment where Baker shot him at.
There's also police.
See that and react however they react.
There's definitely going to be police there too.
And there's probably going to be a constable there too. Yeah. In other words, they're going to be aware of that because they can't miss it if they go to that apartment.
Yeah. They might even, the landlord might even let them the police into both those apartments.
Yeah. My fear is that they'd either go to ground or assume anyone is an enemy.
Yes, right. We're all in agreement on that. That we need to go deal with them right now.
So that's the only time pressing issue. Is that you want to meet them before they see that, which they could be doing any minute.
Right. So who's going?
I'll go.
The two of you. All right. So you decide what to tell them. Don't mention Illingsworth. You can mention me if you have to, if you want to. Don't mention Illingsworth. Let's try to keep him away from them as long as we can. Just not involved, even though he tried to. Yeah.
So you guys are walking back to the apartment building.
Yep.
What about Illingsworth and Payne? Are you staying where you are?
Yeah, we'll stay at the house. We're going to let them know we'll stay at the house. We're probably going to stay up at least till 1 or 2 o'clock to see if these two come back. But I want to remind Edgeworth and Baker, they don't have to come back tonight. Mm-hmm. But please send a note or something to let us know you're okay.
At this hour, that's going to mean coming back tonight.
Yeah, okay. Well, then come back tonight. Definitely come back tonight to let us know what happened.
Yeah. Besides, it's 5 minutes. It's less than a 10-minute walk.
Yeah, I'm the other side of Hyde Park probably or something.
Yeah.
And arm yourself, Baker. Reload that pistol.
It does mean crossing the park, which can be spooky.
They're pistol,
both armed. Yeah. It's fine.
Good idea.
Couple bullets. Okay. Baker's got it. Oh. Why do you keep taking that umbrella everywhere? Anyway, Baker's got his sword umbrella. None of us know about that yet, I don't believe.
Yeah.
I can't wait till it's revealed.
And you have at least one pistol each.
Mm-hmm.
You've also got the larger firearm if you want to give it to them. You've got a proper pistol.
I have a proper pistol if either one wants it.
Yeah.
Do either of you want a second pistol?
I think we'll be good with what we have.
All right.
Josh, what's your opinion?
Okay. So you guys will make your way over to the apartment building and wait. It actually is closer to 2 o'clock by the time Collins and Cameron arrive. So you're going to be waiting a little over an hour, but at least you got there earlier than them.
Well, are cops there and stuff?
There is a constable there. You'll notice him on the second floor. He's basically minding the crime scene and isn't doing much else.
Mm.
But he's
So we
clearly.
see him in the
I suspect he's
hallway.
probably waiting to interview people who live here.
Baker still has an extra key to Illingsworth's apartment too.
Mhm.
Yep.
Just FYI.
Uh, you will, if you're welcome to make a luck roll to see if you see the constable before he sees you,
Okay.
Josh, why don't you
if
make
you
that?
wish.
My luck is not great.
Well, I leave it to either one of you to do that. So on a successful luck roll, you'll notice the constable before he notices you, and could either back up or talk to him as you please. On a failure here, he'll see you coming up the stairs.
Or are we going in the building?
Oh, it's a good point, actually. Did you even enter the building?
No, I thought we were
I
going to
didn't.
wait
I
around.
didn't think we were.
Okay,
No.
then you don't. Then you're not going to have to worry about the constable. He's
Fair,
waiting on the second floor landing.
fair,
I
fair.
thought we were going to stand outside and wait
Yeah,
for
if
the
you're
guy.
standing
Yeah,
in the street,
we
then
want to intercept them before they enter the building.
okay.
So
So then
that
the two of you are hanging out on the street.
yeah.
At this hour, there's not much traffic. You'll see people walk by occasionally. A vehicle or a rider will go by on occasion. In other words, in the hour you're waiting, you'll see maybe 10 or 12 parties pass by. So like basically every 5 or 6 minutes, somebody goes by.
Mhm.
Not much traffic. And then there's your boys walking in the direction you'd expected. They are moving like they've got a purpose.
I'm
In
going
other words,
to
they clearly know where they're going, which is here.
I'm going to look at Baker and just sort of nod, and I'm going to walk out into the street,
Okay.
moving into the light so as to be like I'm not trying to surprise them. I'm coming up
Yeah.
like open and just
You want them to see
making
who you want them to see who you are,
yeah.
and that you're waiting for them, and
Yeah.
and they recognize
We're
you.
trying to put on our best nonchalant smile.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And
I'm looking a little more serious, but you can be nonchalant.
yeah, and when you do that, they'll stop, and Cameron says, "Mr. Edgeworth." Well, that's just a surprise.
Mr. Cameron, Mr. Collins, I wish I could say it was a good evening.
You have me then at a disadvantage, sir. It's been a most pleasant evening.
Well,
And he looks at Collins like, hasn't it? He's like, yes. Collins says nothing. He just nods, agreeing that this has been a pleasant evening.
I'm afraid that
Well, they don't know what's in front of them, of course.
I have some grim news, my friends, unfortunately.
We should
Ear-
perhaps then take
earlier,
this conversation off the street.
perhaps, and I look up at the building. On the second floor, you'll find a constable standing in front of a crime scene. Earlier tonight, two armed men attempted to break into your apartment.
And how did you know this?
And I look to Mr. Baker. We
I recently uh, um, was trying to go talk to the church, and I had found out that Father Brown.
Oh, that church.
Yes.
You said you were speaking with the church. I, for a moment, assumed you meant the good old Church of England. No, you mean Reverend
No.
Brown. Oh, that's
Brown.
something else entirely, isn't it? Right, but that. How does that get to the fact that you were in the know that someone attempted to burglarize our apartment?
Well, I was in the hallway when these two ruffians, without any alarm or how do you do, rushed me, and I was able to scare them off by brandishing a knife
gentlemen,
a pocket knife.
I
gentlemen,
see. So you
Gen-
were lingering about the hallway outside our apartment when these two gentlemen, and I use the term loosely, approached, and you threatened them with a knife, and they departed.
They came with to me brandishing a cleaver and what looked to be some kind of crowbar or club, and
Well, that
If
makes
I
it far more
hadn't
serious, doesn't
seen
it?
them when I did, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now.
Gentlemen, Mr. Baker was almost assassinated in your stead tonight.
You still haven't gotten to the point of what you were doing outside our apartment. I mean, I'm vaguely curious on that subject,
I
if it's all the same.
wasn't aware it was your apartment at the time.
Oh, so who were you visiting then?
I had an acquaintance that recently moved in. I was wondering.
Oh,
I was looking down the hall, trying to find the room,
oh, okay. So
and
you
that
know the
was when
gentleman who took apartment 3 then? As I was under the
he
impression that
was.
apartment 3 was rented yesterday.
I
The two of them look
I
at each other
work.
like, is that right? 2 days ago? There's a moment of, which one of us is right. They're not sure.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see that person before
Hmm.
they these gentlemen, quote unquote,
So if you scared these
arrived.
two fellows off with a knife, then what is the constable still doing here?
There is a good amount of blood in the hallway.
Oh dear God!
And
And how did that come to be?
uh, Mr. Baker defended himself.
With his knife.
I thought you
Oh,
shot them. This is out of character. I thought you shot them, Josh.
I did shoot them, but I don't want to tell them. I don't want them knowing that.
Ah, fair.
Well, then remind me never to cross you. That being the case.
That being the case, you two are still in danger, and this location, I'm afraid, is not safe.
Hmm. So you think they had come here for the purpose of harming us?
I think they've come here for the
Most
purpose,
certainly.
at least, yeah. I think both for that
Hmm.
and for whatever connection you might have to them.
Can't say as
I'm sorry if this story seems incoherent and out of sorts.
It does.
The adrenaline is just wearing off.
You're understandable, but the how shall I put this? Uh, Reverend Brown is convinced that he understands the Azazel, be it place or thing, such as it were. And now here is where I fear I make less sense. We really shouldn't be having this conversation here in the street.
No, we should move to a safer environment. Uh, and I looked to Baker. Would
Are you out of game? Are you suggesting we come to my place,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
aren't I farther away? Don't I live in an entirely different neighborhood?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, better than outside the outside an active crime scene.
Okay.
The longer we stand around here,
How
the
do we hail an Uber or taxi in this time period?
ye old Uber.
In some neighborhoods, you would find stands where cabs waiting for business will be found. At this hour, you will not find many outside of certain clubs and restaurants. In other words, there aren't many places where you'll find such things other than where they know business is going to be.
Mm-hmm. So we can make our way there and then hail a carriage and make our way to your house.
Exactly.
It's a little
If you
more
wanted,
roundabout, but
yeah, if you wanted to do it that way.
yeah.
I guess that must be done.
Yeah, and they're actually somewhat, given what you've just told them, they're somewhat concerned about the idea of going home. However, there is something important, and the two of them will admit that they are not willing to leave without it.
Uh,
In other words, they have to go up to the apartment to get something. And if what you said was true, that church members were breaking in, they can't leave it here. They'll come back.
All right.
So they have to go up to the apartment to get this.
The constable, though. Constable presents a conundrum.
I don't see the problem there.
Well, we don't know exactly how far the tendrils of the church spread.
Well then, both of us shall. And should the matter come to it, I suppose, we'll just have to push our way past.
Okay.
All right.
Josh, do we want to intervene in this, or do we want to
You guys can't have this conversation.
Oh yeah.
You are welcome to go with them or not.
Yeah, this is like real time stuff.
True.
Because they're now heading upstairs.
I'll follow.
Oh, all right, we'll follow.
Okay. And of course, you know what they're going to get is the stuff from the bedroom you guys saw. The notes on the Book of Enoch.
It was the library. The bedrooms didn't have anything of value. The bedrooms.
Oh, right.
It was like a library, study, sitting room, something like that.
Yeah, the notes on the Book of Enoch. They're more of the handwritten notes. Come to think of it, it's the same shorthand that you saw them using in the club.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't see it. I saw it.
Yeah. In other words, you guys who broke into their apartment saw their shorthand notebook.
No.
Illingsworth saw the same shorthand at the club.
I thought we could read their notes, though.
Not all of it, remember. Some of it was in shorthand.
Okay.
Same thing. So what they'll do is they'll go up, they'll have a word with the constable. And this actually won't be a big problem. They live here. The constable will interview them briefly, ask if they knew what happened. They'll just keep it to we were not home at the time. Neither of us was here at the time. So no, we don't know what happened. So they won't drag you into it.
Okay.
They'll just tell the constable, we weren't here, so no, we have no idea what happened. The constable tells them that there was a fight here, somebody was shot. They found a bullet hole in the wall. They don't know who was shot. They don't know who did the shooting. Because whoever did the shooting ran away, and whoever was shot also ran away. Mm-hmm. So there's been what appears to be an attempted murder here, but they do not know the murderer or the murderee.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not much chance they expect at the moment to learn that. So the two of them will go into the apartment, spend a few moments gathering up what they need, and then come back. And then you guys can go find yourselves transportation and take. Where were you taking yourselves again?
My place, the Baker's Manor.
Yeah, which of course is also big enough to accommodate guests. So you can park yourselves for the evening there if you wish, because by this point it's close to 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know whether you're feeling like sleep.
Let's reconvene in the morning.
Yes, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's wise.
Yeah, so probably going to do that.
Would it be possible to send information in the morning to Dr. Payne to let him know that we've collected? Collins and Cameron.
Yeah, you could even do it on the way back. You could split up, send one of you.
Oh, okay. We're still up probably.
To pass by Payne's place and tell them.
I'll send information to Illingsworth.
Or wait a minute, does Dr. Payne own a carriage?
Oh.
Never thought about it really. Probably he has one, but it's not.
You do. You have a family.
It's probably. Oh yeah, I do have a family. We take it to church. Yeah, there's probably a stable behind the house. There's probably a carriage house next to the carriage house that I call the shed. The shed. It's a me shed. Like
which means instead of going to find transportation, just tell Cameron and Collins that Dr. Payne's house is nearby. He has a carriage we could borrow.
Have they brought my name up during this whole thing?
His name up. That was
no, but they do know you're a club member and that you live nearby.
You could excuse that information with that.
Yeah.
And we did ask you guys to come back to the house to let us know that you were okay.
Okay.
So Illingsworth and I are still up drinking and talking. Muted, talking about the terrible things we've seen. Oh.
Yeah, we can do that.
Now, unless you want to have a longer meeting there, you just basically drop in for the purpose of borrowing the carriage.
Yeah, you can see that the
And that
lights
way-
are on.
That way you'll know, or you could continue this conversation inside with all 6 of you if you wished. But
That's
brings
entirely
Payne
up
and
to
Illingsworth back into
Edgeworth
it.
and Baker. So that's entirely whether they're going to have Collins and Cameron know that we're all involved in this whole thing. Which is either way you want to decide is what you decide. Okay? Don't
Because
let
right
us
now what they
influence
know is Payne's house is closer than other forms of transportation.
And look, there's
And
a
he has
light.
a carriage,
There's a light.
which we can borrow.
Someone's
and
still
if
awake.
there's a light on, someone's awake.
Yeah.
In other words, easy to excuse that as this is the easiest way to get our hands on a vehicle.
My
So we can
question
borrow.
for Illingsworth is whether or not he should return to his apartment tonight or if he's spending the night here. We would have this discussion while they were gone.
Yeah.
And how suspicious if you want to establish the fact that you have come back from the club to the police.
Yeah.
That's just something to think about.
So you may be here or you may have gone home by this point.
No. What I'm saying is we're discussing it. We're waiting to get word back that they're okay. And we're
Okay,
just
so
kind
you're
of
not gonna
hanging
make
out. But it's like, does Illingsworth want to go back to his house tonight or spend the night here? His apartment.
Excellent question.
Yeah, I guess at this juncture, he's probably just planning on staying the night here.
Okay, and that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can talk to the
Are
police
you-
tomorrow because they're going to question you about what's going on because you have that other apartment on the second floor.
Right.
Now,
Right.
Are you introducing Cameron and Collins then to Payne and Illingsworth tonight?
Right. That's the big question.
That's on you two.
I think we were not intending on that because we want to. Because I think
Okay.
we.
Then
Okay.
you'll need to do so.
When they knock on the door, I'm genuinely surprised to see the 4 of them. Like, oh,
Dr. Payne,
Good evening.
Sorry,
It's-
we were just in the neighborhood. Terribly sorry.
It's very
if
late.
awaking you. Oh, we were wondering if we could borrow your carriage.
oh,
It's been a
of course. Toby!
Yep. Who is asleep at this hour? We'll have to get his shit together.
I'll go
and
wake Toby up. I'm nice about it. I like Toby. He's a good
Yeah.
kid. Toby,
And
can you
he'll
get the
go-
carriage and a couple of horses around? There's
He'll
some
go
gentlemen who
take
need
care
to
of
use
that.
them. Yes. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Yeah, he'll get the carriage. He'll get the horse.
terribly.
He's not happy about it, but he'll do it.
It's his job.
Terribly
Yeah, I know. The
sorry.
point is, he was woken from a sound sleep, so he's not happy.
That's
He's not even
okay.
pretending he's happy about it, but it's his job, and he's going to do it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Would you like a drink, gentlemen? While you wait for Toby to prepare the horses. Illingsworth is still in my parlor, in my study, hidden away upstairs somewhere.
Okay.
I look to the two. I say no to it.
Oh, very well. And then I'll send them off. Toby will drive you.
Yep.
And then I bid them good night and just ask them to have the carriage sent. Just send Toby back.
Yep, that's the plan. He'll
Boom.
drive them over, and then he'll drive
Yep.
back.
And close it up. Walk up to Illingsworth and tell him that they brought these 2 wizards to my house. Good job. Awesome. I don't even know where they're going. I didn't even ask. Okay. They seem to be all right, though.
Well, they're alive.
That's
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Nobody murdered them yet.
They're
so there's
alive.
that.
They seem to be all be in good spirits.
When I describe this session later tonight, I'm just gonna be like, we brought 2 gay wizards to the doctor's house.
Unexpectedly. Don't forget unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly. At
But
4
did not
at
hold a
4 a.m.
conference. But did not hold a conference there.
We did not hold a conference.
So the next day, then, long story short is there will be a constable will come around looking for Mr. Illingsworth to ask if you saw anything about a horror or saw anything about a shooting. Are you telling them?
No.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
all you really need to do.
So
is to
I
tell
was at
them,
the
no.
club all night.
Yeah,
So-
and people saw you there.
Yeah.
In fact, you were kind of making a fool of yourself at that point.
Ooh.
So-
Yeah.
Oh, by the
Everyone
way,
saw,
when Toby came
everyone
back,
saw you at the club, not for the best of reasons.
when Toby came back,
Actually, I'm probably avoiding the club for a little bit for right now.
when Toby came back, I'm going to give him some very nice brandy to help him get back to sleep, and thank him,
Yeah.
and apologize for disturbing his rest.
Yeah, he'll happily accept that. Like that's a nice move to get his mood back.
It's just sorry.
Yeah, he didn't expect to be woken at that hour and told to go do such a thing, but these things happen. On the other hand, working for a medical doctor, he's kind of gotten used to it a little.
Yeah.
Because there have been times when you've been called away at strange hours because an emergency doesn't wait for daylight. Sometimes.
Yes. So
And your services
Thursday.
are needed immediately.
Thursday
Thursday.
is Edgeworth
Yep.
and Baker dealing with wizards. Good luck.
Yep. So Thursday. Now I don't know how much you guys are going to plan to share with these two, but Cameron and Collins are planning to head back to their apartment the next day, at least to reassess, make sure nothing else. As for the idea that the church tried to break in, that I make a long story short here, covering basically a long breakfast on Thursday. But what they'll share with you is the fact that they are aware that Reverend Brown is familiar with the thing that he calls Enzilu.
Enzilu.
They've also heard it referred to as Zepharim, Nephilim, Zathaqua. They're not sure if these are the same thing or just basically, as far as they can tell, it's the same name in different languages.
Mm-hmm.
In Sumerian, it's Enzilu. In Hittite, it's Anzala. In Hebrew, it's Zathaqua. But it's all, as far as they can tell, it's the same being, whose name roughly means visitor or stranger.
At this point, I think I'm just going to press them lightly for information, just trying to gauge what they know about this creature, more from a sort of practical magic standpoint, I suppose. Like what bits of information are they willing to share that to them,
well,
what they know about what its domains are, what
are you willing to share in return is really what it comes down to.
Question.
In other words, you've pretty much guessed that these two are would-be magicians.
Mm-hmm.
You've done some of that work yourself. How much are you willing to give away?
I don't want the doctor to be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I'm not going to be mad at anything you do at this juncture because that's why I'm muting myself to just almost shut up. Go. You guys have fun with this.
Okay. Frankly, I think that this represents a greater danger, and that anything, any chunk of information they have could be useful. I feel like they have something. They have pieces that we're missing.
Point is that to trust you, the only way they're really going to trust you here is if they believe you are a fellow practitioner.
Oh.
In other words, establish your own credentials as a would-be magician, and you're all in the same brotherhood.
See, that's. I don't know magic, but I do.
Do you know any sleight of hand?
That's not what we're talking about here.
I do know a fair bit of the occult.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, make yourself an occult roll to start then.
Yeah, just to start, initially, playing on their terms. Showing that I am somewhat in the know.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? My dice
Push
hate
it.
me.
Push it.
I'm
you
gonna
can push it.
Okay.
Show them all those books that you have at your house.
Yeah. I'm just going to start.
That's pretty much what pushing it is at this point, is talking about some of the stuff you've collected.
Talking about my larger collection, the connections that I've been making through folklore, the
Could he
parallels.
Could he name drop with a push certain things that we've learned?
Also yes.
Shantak?
Shantak connection to Thoth, Maiden Castle.
Yep.
How I got my hands on the prince at what, or that I've seen the prince, because we have, right?
On the balloon?
Yeah. Where the Shantak grabbed the balloon.
Exactly. Physical evidence of a manifestation.
Yep.
43. That's a success.
Okay. So here's what long story short, I simplify like 3 hours worth, is they're familiar with the Shantak as well. And from their understanding, the Shantak is either a servitor or a herald of Enzilu. That Enzilu is a more singular creature, a god, effectively. And the Shantak are apparently some of its first worshippers. Their name seems to derive from Sumerian and is cognate, as far as they can tell, with the Hebrew Nephilim, those who descend, which may explain the Shantak's tendency to fly.
Mm-hmm.
They also know that Anzilu, stranger, outsider, Zathakwa, whatever, they believe folds into the Egyptian Thoth.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned I bring up the Temple of Thoth.
Yeah, and what they firmly believe here is that, and the reason they're pursuing this is, an encounter with Zathakwa, Thoth, Enzilu, whatever, is a gate to knowledge. That this thing, whatever it is, possesses perfect knowledge, and Cameron even argues that Zathakwa is Hermes Trismegistus. That the figure that the medieval scholars called Hermes Trismegistus, Hermes the thrice blessed, is Zathakwa in another guise, another mask, who supposedly had perfect knowledge of magic. In other words, to encounter Zathakwa, or in Zulu, whatever it is to open yourself to being able to learn a lot of magic. And they think that that's what Brown believes too. That what Brown wants from this creature is essentially a repertoire of magics.
He wants power. He wants...
Yeah. They also believe that the creature is
expand.
associated with a place called Azazel, which may also be the name of a creature. They're not sure if Azazel is a place or a creature. Possibly both.
Possibly both. All right. So Brown is attempting to open a portal, or channel this being to gain greater knowledge, greater power, potentially to expand the influence of his influence, the cult's influence.
Well, armed with what it could teach him, who knows what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
If what they believe is true. That this thing is willing to share that kind of knowledge with those who know how to communicate with it.
But the question is why he had the tablet for some time. Why hasn't he done it yet?
They don't know that he hasn't.
Mm.
And if he has, they don't know what the result would be. Does he know where Azazel is? Will he go there if he knows? Is it accessible? What if this place Azazel is a real place and it's on top of a mountain in Turkey?
Mm.
Or on top of somewhere in Hindustan? What if it's a year away? What if it's on the moon?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if it is a place, that doesn't mean you can get there.
No.
So it's possible that Brown has already done this, and now his problem is how to get to the place that he's indicated.
Mm.
Or it's possible he hasn't done it yet, that he didn't finish translating the tablet. Collins also has another theory that Enzilu's very presence could be dangerous. That an encounter with such a being might be more than a human could handle. And that the Shantak might be made to serve as a kind of go-between. In other words, if Brown is smart, he won't attempt to directly make contact with Zathakwa or Enzilu or whatever it is. He'll use the Shantak as a go-between. Which would involve summoning the Shantak and communicating with it.
Which we know
he already did.
Yeah, he's been doing.
But do you tell them?
It apparently. Yeah, do you tell them that he's already done that?
I will.
Because you guys know that.
I will tell him that through our connections, we have determined that Brown has in fact completed at least one summoning that we have a witness for.
If that's the case, then, says Cameron, if he hasn't completed the translation of the tablet, he doesn't have whatever it has, but he's got a point of contact.
Two pieces to the puzzle. So we don't know what he's missing, but he's missing something.
That's what they're thinking too. And their first guess is that something is the location of the place called Azazel.
The place or the person.
Or the being.
Or the
being. In the Hebrew, Azazel appears as an angel. In the Book of Enoch, Azazel appears as the leader of a group of angels, in particular, the one who teaches humans magic.
So essentially a greater Shantak.
If the Shantak are the ones they mistook for angels, or are angels, then Azazel is the chief of the Shantak.
So maybe that he's only been able to commune with the bottom of the ladder. He might be trying to work his way up.
A lot of that would be best determined by having a look at the Book of Enoch. And they know that, which is something you guys already know too. Remember, those of you who saw Brown preach, remember he was preaching using as his text the Book of Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
So one of you made a good religion roll at that point and learned that.
I think Baker's the one that got that.
Yeah.
So you already know how important the Book of Enoch is to him. You also know where a copy of it can be found.
Mm-hmm.
Where? I forgot.
At the Bodleian Library at Oxford.
Yeah.
Remember, Dr. Blythe can get access to it.
Yeah, Dr. Blythe is... didn't we send Dr. Blythe to...
I believe
he's supposed to go look at it, yeah.
Yeah, I believe he's actually already left for Oxford.
Didn't Edgeworth order a book from France, too?
Yeah, which hasn't arrived yet.
No, that's going to take time.
Okay.
Yeah. But because Dr. Blythe has access to the Bodleian Library, being soon to be, Regis professor there, he can get access to the Book of Enoch.
But
one
we
of
know,
only 3 copies in the United Kingdom.
Right, but we know Cameron and Collins already have that information.
We
looked through it.
Yeah, they know something of the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff about the Book of Enoch.
But they don't have a copy of the Book of Enoch.
They do not have a copy of it, although they will admit to you something that you kind of already knew, actually.
The notes.
Yeah.
J-Dub, no.
No, the book they were reading at the Mountbatten Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Mountbatten copy of what's known as the Codex Gizus, or Gizus, I guess you pronounce it, which is a Greek text that includes excerpts of Enoch.
They also had Richard Lawrence's notes.
Yep, Lawrence
in
is
their
the one who
apartment.
brought back the original, and Lawrence is the traveler who brought back the Book of Enoch.
Okay.
He brought 3 copies of it from Egypt.
Okay.
Of those 3 copies, one of them, the one that Lawrence brought back, is the one the Bodleian holds.
Okay.
But Lawrence did some work for them.
Yeah.
About Enoch, a lot of translations and stuff like that.
Yeah. So they were also checking against the Codex Giza in the Greek. In other words, they haven't read the Book of Enoch in its entirety, but they've read about it. So they've put together some stuff. You guys have put together some others. When you pool it all, it starts to sort of, the pieces start to fit. And you'll certainly know more when Dr. Blythe returns.
Yeah, Blythe is going to have more information upon his return. So the Book of Enoch might have more information about Azazel. That
it certainly does. That's what. Yeah, they know that Azazel is name checked in that book. They do not know necessarily what it says about him.
The question is, wait.
And they were hoping to go to Oxford to gain access to it.
That's why. That's why the church came looking for you for the 2 of them, because they're on the trail of the final piece. So,
and that's where it clicks.
The church doesn't know about the Book of Enoch yet. They don't know. They don't know that they need the Book of Enoch yet.
They know. They do know they know it. And they know that Cameron and Collins have notes on it.
Okay. No, that clicks. Now that clicks.
Yeah. In other words, they know. Reverend Brown knows exactly what he needs, and he knows who has it.
Mm-hmm.
That also means.
Did you tell him that?
It's also a real. There's another real problem here. Is Dr. Blythe in danger?
Do we need to get to Oxford?
Yes, he's in danger. Yes.
Did Reverend Brown send people to Oxford?
Can they find their way there?
Well, Reverend Brown's people are going to stand out in Oxford. And none of them are going to have a pass to enter the Bodleian Library legally. Then again, we've seen some of them are burglars.
We need to make for Oxford.
Would they break into the Bodleian Library to steal something? Would they know what they're looking for?
I think.
Can they read?
Excellent question. Legitimately excellent question.
They'll steal everything.
They don't need to know anything. They need to get to Dr. Blythe.
Yeah. If Brown sent anybody, they'll be looking for Dr. Blythe.
Okay, we got him. Okay.
Because it's unlikely any of his followers are going to be able to distinguish the Book of Enoch from anything else in the Bodleian Library.
But they would be able to distinguish Dr. Blythe. Okay. So we have a direction. Okay.
And now we know what Brown is still lacking. The Book of Enoch, which he probably hopes will tell him what or where Azazel is.
Okay.
Last piece of the puzzle.
Okay, now my brain's actually moving.
So, I'm guessing then you're setting off for Oxford yourselves.
Well, we need to immediately talk to Dr. Payne and Illingsworth and
do that first, yes.
Yeah,
before you go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's not split the party over.
Well, you can. Payne today, if he can move around some appointments, he wants to go into Limehouse. Whenever it's going to work to move his appointments around. Do his little charity work, but also keep an eye on the church. Because he said he was going to try to keep an eye on the church for everybody.
Yep.
So Payne's doing that. He'll let Illingsworth. You spent the night, right?
Yeah.
So he'll let you know that are his plans for today. But it sounds like their lunch turned into a brunch. If it was 3 hours of talking, so if I go in the morning, I don't know what time I can make it work. That's up to you, Kevin.
That depends on how much you're doing and what you're doing.
Well, I want to move a few appointments around if I can, and if I can't, so that's entirely up to my patience.
You can move some stuff around. Remember, you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart.
Right. I mean, my regular patients. I'm sure I have like appointments today.
Some of those can be moved around.
Okay, so if they can be moved around or pushed off a day or a week if they're not important, then I'll try to get to Limehouse as soon as I can to keep an eye on the church because I said I was going to go spy on the church if I could.
Okay, so you're going to do that,
and I'm going to let Illingsworth know I'm going.
And where is Mr. Illingsworth going?
I mean,
sorry.
If they want me to come to Oxford with them, like I can go to Oxford with them.
Okay.
But yeah, like I really don't. I don't have anything that I need to do today. I don't think so.
Well, Dr. Blythe left for Oxford a couple of days ago. He should be there working.
Yeah.
We don't know if Brown sent people, and if so, when they left. So you want to move as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Are you guys telling Cameron and Collins about Blythe being in Oxford? Are you including them in all this mess?
Well, that's the thing. We would have put together. We haven't mentioned that Blythe is in Oxford yet. But the question is, what do we do with these two? Because they cannot stay here. They are in danger. Oh yeah, I take out the gun and I kill them both. No.
Well, their thinking is to go to the club. They have a room.
Oh.
They have a room there.
Ooh.
And as far as they could tell, that would be relatively safe.
I think for the short term, yes, gentlemen, but long term, you might want to arrange a vacation of sorts. Maybe go see
holiday
family.
Oh,
holiday.
long term, they'll freely admit they are actually planning a holiday in Alsace Lorraine.
Perhaps maybe
Where?
you should move.
Alsace Lorraine.
Sl- Slorraine?
It's
All,
it's east.
all
It,
Saints, or yeah.
it's the francophone area of West Germany / East France.
All Saints
Probably
Slorraine.
best Wikipedia.
All
Okay.
Saints
Alsace
Lorraine.
All Saints
Alsace Lorraine.
Lorraine. Okay, okay.
I hear
Yeah.
the weather's actually been quite good across the channel. Perhaps you'd want to move your vacation, your holiday up a bit.
Well, they're not sure about that, but they do have a place to go. Oh, wait, hold on a sec.
Hey, let's.
Why that area?
Is that a French speaking area?
Hmm.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay.
And if anyone's bothered to get their hands on either a copy of like Debrett's or
I haven't. I
a
haven't.
heraldry, the arms you saw on
Illingsworth.
that carriage belong to the Prince of Soubise.
That'll come out eventually. Prince.
Which means that is the woman you encountered the other day is almost certainly Victoria Teresa Avagna de Savoy, Princess of Soubise.
Hmm. The French.
At least based on her apparent age and the way Mr. Charles addressed her, that's probably who it is. Which is to say, that's where their quote unquote vacation is going to be.
Mm.
In other words, the next thing they're doing is going to involve something involving the House of Soubise.
Dun dun
They've
dun.
already figured that part out.
They're going off to do some wacky shit.
They're not talking about that much,
Yeah.
but they clearly have a plan as to where to go when they are done with their business in London.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have an agenda.
These two
They
are
have things to
scary.
do.
They're bad people.
I don't. Yeah, I think as much as we don't have a reason to stop them from going.
Well,
But-
no, not really.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
they're not
we got-
going. They're not going yet.
Yeah, I think we've gotten as much information as we're going to get from them for now.
They're gonna turn up dead in your house, Illingsworth. Okay, you're gonna come home and they're gonna be in your bed. They're just like stabbed to death by some of Brown's people, and you're gonna be like, how do I clean this mess up?
Some of the may.
Time to find another place to live.
That'd be
Oh.
cool, actually.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't stab them to death, please. Okay, thanks.
No, not us.
No,
Not us. We're gonna find the bodies at some
Okay,
point.
now-
That's my thinking.
For those of you who want to get to Oxford, though, how to get there quickly?
I mean, I probably have horses. I can get us horses and we can ride. I mean,
Yep. The distance to Oxford, by the way, if you're keeping score, is about 60 miles.
okay.
It's not too crazy for the churches, man.
So
If you
you're
could-
talking about, if you push it, you're talking about a long 2 days, basically. A day, an overnight,
If-
another day.
If they switch horses out, couldn't they get there in a day? Like
If
they
they-
have to
yeah.
switch a lot. You have to spend a lot of money, basically buying horses every 20 miles or so before you
Yes.
kill your own. But you could get there in a
Could be done.
day.
Yeah, you could push the matter by doing it that way.
But it's going to cost. It's going to be very painful.
Yeah, it's going to cost a lot. Also, there is, weirdly enough, didn't Mr. Thornhill get the balloon operational again?
I don't know. I don't know if he's gotten it done yet. I don't remember when I
I'm-
started him on that.
I believe that was Tuesday.
I don't think.
So I guess theoretically you could even balloon there.
I don't. That
I mean, if you
that
wanted to
depends on
talk-
the wind, though. It's entirely
Yeah.
on the wind whether or not you can get to Oxford. It's like
But
100%
that-
random.
But
That
that
is-
would be badass.
It would be cool, but
If
I
the
don't
wind
think
is
you
flowing
can.
in the right direction, you could get there at a speed of 8 to 10 miles an hour.
Hey, take Miss Delacourt, and I bet a wind will blow real hard.
I don't know.
But you'd have to get lucky.
Going in the sky.
One, you'd have to talk her into doing that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
two,
yeah,
you'd have to
yeah,
get
yeah.
lucky.
But
no,
balloons
you're
are so
back.
random which direction. You're totally at the mercy of the winds. I think a horse would probably be better.
Yeah. Horse is the safest way. If you get lucky, a balloon is the fastest way over that
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah,
But you have to get lucky.
you have to get a soul who's got a lot of
So
luck.
lucky. Yeah. Alternatively,
I mean, I'll
take some horses and ride.
say I could use my credit rating or whatever to get us there. Essentially, couldn't I?
That's the point. Is that you
Yeah.
have the resources to do that, to
Yeah.
arrange for basically ride as far as the first as a post in, and
I mean-
arrange for a transfer of horses at the post in.
Yeah, you
It
probably
will
have to.
cost you money,
Yeah.
but it can be done.
You probably have to switch out horses every 10 miles or so, or you kill them.
Exactly.
But you're
Right.
going to ride them hard for 10 miles.
Right.
yeah.
Right. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
That's the point.
But-
You can travel by using that, and the fact that it's a common road with post ins.
Mm-hmm.
You can travel at a rate of probably 10 to 15 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. But it will be very unpleasant.
Yeah.
That's going to be hard on you guys.
Yeah.
My
so-
guy's willing to do that. Like I say, he can ride and he can use his money. So
It's cool, though. It's like right out of a movie. Just
yeah,
like
kind of
riding as hard as you
Okay.
can.
So who's going up to Oxford then?
I'll go.
Definitely me.
Okay.
I have the connection to Dr. Blythe.
Can they find
Okay.
me? Or am I already out and about somewhere?
They would have to send someone to find you.
Yeah. I don't think they even know where I am. I've not really been real open with the fact that I'm going into
You told me-
Limehouse.
you told-
I did
you
tell
told me.
Illingsworth that I'm going
Yeah,
into
you told
Lime's
me.
house
They-
to look
They
to
know
keep
what
an eye on the church.
they know what neighborhood you're in, and they know
Yeah.
roughly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So they know roughly where you are. They could find
That's
you probably with a little effort if they wanted to.
Yeah, and by keeping an eye on the church, I am still like tending to the sick, and kind of just watching to see if I see who comes and goes in between like house calls or whatever.
Yeah, we send a messenger to let you know, like.
Yeah, but can he find me?
Or alternatively, just leave a message for when you get back to your house.
That's probably actually going to be more.
Yeah, because we're
Effective.
gonna need to. If we're going to Oxford, we are going to need a little time to set our affairs in order.
Yeah. Well, you want to leave as rapidly as possible.
Yeah, you want to be gone within the hour.
Yeah, you're potentially on the clock here too.
Yeah.
So who's going then? Illingsworth and Edgeworth.
At the very least.
I can go.
Baker's
Okay,
going
so
too
three of you.
nice. Do I
Okay,
have any
so for
points
the-
in ride?
So for the three of you then,
Machine.
what you want to do is make a riding roll.
Oh boy.
Oh, come on!
Push it. Although if you push it and fail, you're probably going to break a leg when you fall off the horse.
There's no
Me-
pushing this one. It's
or
not.
Oh,
the horse.
okay.
No, there's no pushing this one. It's not success or failure. It's a question of whether how much fatigue and pain you're going to be in when you get there.
How much damage do
Yeah.
you take?
I fail.
Every
I
failed
failed.
roll is a point of damage.
So anyway,
Oh,
if you
God,
fail the
I
riding
died.
roll, you're going to arrive in Oxford sore and in a lot of pain.
Limping, can't walk.
Yeah, unless like a
It's
critical
Especially
failure, you may actually
right
get.
down here.
Yeah,
What
like,
is double zero again?
That's
that's a
100.
critical-
That's a crit
that's a
fail.
critical failure.
Fail.
You want to make a dex roll because that means at this rate you're going to get thrown at one point.
Baker's dragged all the way to Oxford by the stirrup. Did you succeed, Edgeworth?
Failed.
You failed too.
So
Okay.
those who failed the riding roll are going to be
I
sore.
also failed.
The dex.
Unless. No, I'm not gonna push it. It's too much.
You can't really. I don't think you could push this one because it's just like all of a sudden you're flying through the air.
Yeah, well, you could spend luck on it if you wanted. If you had some to spend.
That's what I mean. I'd have to spend probably like 30.
Oh god,
Oh.
that's a lot.
That's a lot. You'll end up taking 4 points of damage when you get thrown and land hard.
Damn.
So you'll actually arrive actually injured, and that's 4 after basically your friends can help you with some first aid. In other words, you'll arrive 4 hit points down, having been literally thrown off your horse at one point.
Oh, poor.
While the other two of you will arrive just sore and miserable. On the other hand, you'll get there inside of what day?
Yeah.
Right.
You're probably gonna get there in like
Without-
5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, well, closer to 9 to 10. But the point
Okay.
is, it's still 9 hours later. You're at Oxford, hurting like crazy, but in Oxford, limping, hurting, sore, can't feel anything below the waist, that kind of thing. But you're here.
Yeah.
So now the problem becomes how to find Dr. Blythe. Well, hopefully he's still alive.
Right. That's,
Actually, I suspect that Mr. Edgeworth is going to have a very easy time with this.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I'm assuming Edgeworth knows exactly where he's at. So at this point, Like,
Uh,
I was assuming
yeah.
my job was
riding,
getting us here,
yeah,
and
riding
Yep.
into Oxford in sweat stained leathers,
Covered in dust
Yep.
and dirt.
covered in dust,
Jump
smelling
off
like
the horse
pork.
at the library and run inside.
Oh,
Dr.
well,
Blythe!
more like limping, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
In
I
our
limp,
mind, it's running.
Just
I
ride the
limp,
horses
Yeah.
into the
I
library.
limp dramatically.
Just ride the horses right into the library.
No,
That won't hurt your
Uh,
reputation.
well,
but
it's not necessarily the library that you're going first,
mhm,
Yeah.
because your first thing is find out where he is.
yes, would there be a directory, a
Dire-
central office?
No. What you'll need to do is basically go through the college and ask. So, for instance, in the college itself, and has any of you ever been here?
I probably would have visited. I like books.
Okay.
You know what?
Uh,
I may have studied business here.
Did you?
business is not a thing you can study here.
Okay, then never mind then. No. That would be the only thing I could think I could potentially have been here for. So
Yeah. No, it's the university offers its advanced degrees are in law, theology, medicine, and philosophy.
Mm,
I went to Cambridge, by the way. You can't name drop me here.
Yeah. Oops.
unfortunately.
And by the way, notice we still use those.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we offer degrees now are offered in more specialized subjects, but my degree, for instance, is technically Doctora Philosophi,
Mm.
Doctor of Philosophy. So we still do that, except now, of course, they're a lot more specialized than in those days.
Mhm.
But no, the point is, you go through some of the offices, ask where he's staying, and they'll point you to one of the homes on Bow Street, one of the residences. This would be the Markham residence. It's a old, probably late medieval house that's used as faculty residence. In other words, the people who live here are the people who work at the university. So a number of deans, professors, redditors, people like that. People who handle the library, those sort of people. And that's where Dr. Blythe is currently staying, in a room at Markham House.
Do they
So
find him?
you can, at the time you've arrived at about 9 p.m., you'll find him here.
Mm.
So first off, you got here fast. He's alive. He's a
Ah.
little surprised to see you knocking on his door at close to 10 in the evening.
Are we still covered in bruises and whatnot?
oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I suspect that most of you lived up to the second floor where his apartment is.
Covered in dirt. And
Good evening, Dr. Blythe.
And he just basically stands up looking kind of shocked, like, and starts to say something, which was probably some kind of curse. And it's just surprised at your appearance, and then stops. And says, no, on second thought, come in, please. Like, you clearly caught him by surprise. He did not
I'm
expect to
busy!
see you looking like this. The room itself is simple. Bed, armoire. His desk is covered with notes and papers. 2 books are open on various parts of it. He's got half a dozen pencils scattered around. And notice, one of the things you'll notice, for those of you not familiar with this kind of scholarship, no inkwell,
Ooh.
no quill. He's only using pencil.
pencils. That's cool.
Mm.
Yeah.
Dr. Blythe, time.
Well, you don't bring ink or anything that can damage those kind of books.
No,
By the
no,
way,
no,
still
no.
true. You can't take a pen into the National Archive, for instance.
Oh, he's got
Yeah.
some actual rare books in his room?
He's taken
Oh.
something from the library in this room. He's got something in his room. Yeah,
Wow, okay. That's huge.
they let him do
I'm-
this.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna-
huge. I think that's cool.
I'm just gonna go straight for the jugular. Dr. Blythe, time is of the essence. I apologize for coming upon you so suddenly, but last evening, the Church of Starry Wisdom sent men to kill 2 two amateur scholars sniffing around. We have reason to believe they might be making their way here, uh, uh, attempting to harm you and take the Book of Enoch.
So that would explain your presence here and your current appearance.
Yes, we rode for a full
All
day.
day.
We believe your life is in imminent danger.
Well, not
The,
precisely what I would have imagined, but I can see the point. And you've come up from London within the day, which would explain your current appearance.
Unfortunately, yes, I smell terrible.
Dust is just falling off of them.
I rid
Very,
a
very
horse for the first time.
well. Then
First
what's
time.
to
You
be
ride a horse.
You say that? That's awesome.
what is to be done?
Uh, well,
Do
first,
you think these people know where I am at present?
we think they might know that you are in Oxford. We don't know what information they have. What matters is concealing you and the book. The book is the key. We have reason to believe that the Church of Starry Wisdom is attempting to locate a being or place named Anzilu, that is
Azazel.
sorry, Azazel, right? Thank you. Too many
It's
A's.
okay. Yeah.
Azazel, that is whose location is hidden in the Book of Enoch.
That would make certain sense, but not just the Book of Enoch. This, he moves to the desk, takes a roll, to a wooden scroll holder, and what's spread out across the desk is a somewhat damaged papyrus.
Oh God.
What you're looking at here is an element of the Book of Enoch, in particular, first chapter, verses 10 through 86. This is the Hebrew edition. This papyrus is from the Ashmolean Museum, up the road on Beaumont Street. This particular papyrus, probably 400 AD. He's got it spread on his desk. This is also why he's not using a pen.
It's 1,500 years old.
Yeah. Between
Baker's eyes are just affixed. Like,
yeah, the text, by the way, is in Hebrew and classic Hebrew, which means no vowel indications.
Dr. Blythe speaks Hebrew.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
read. I believe so.
I just mean, does anyone in our group read Hebrew and therefore gets
Not
hit
me.
by Cthulhu-ness?
Yeah, no, I don't think any of you could actually read it.
Nope.
And of course, it is the classic, Old Testament style with no vowel indicators. So it's even harder to read. That shit is fun. By fun, I mean horrible. No, seriously, I've known people who can read this sort of stuff, and I admire them greatly. Hell, I knew a professor who could actually read hieroglyphs.
Oh wow.
He also had a blow-up mummy case in his office, which was the coolest thing ever. And a screensaver that read "Mott is forever." Because of course he did. Anyway, no. What Vlad says is this is what I see where you're going with it. As for the tablet, my fear, and I have not finished it yet. As for the tablet, my fear is that the invocation of Anzilu found on the tablet would call out to such a being, open a channel directly to it, and encourage it to visit, as it were. I'm reasonably certain that such an event would be a very poor outcome for everyone involved. As for Azazel, this is perhaps what you're looking for. The text here, and now he goes to his own notes. This is from the Book of Enoch, from the Lawrence edition. Where did I put that? And now he begins scrolling and pushing and moving notes, trying to figure out what he did with it. Somewhere in here, I'd swear. Moving through more notes. He clearly knows what he's doing, but everything looks disorganized. What we're looking
as long as he
then,
finds it, that's all I care about at this point in time.
what we're looking at is Azazel, yes?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you mentioned?
Yes.
Where are we? Here we are. This is chapter 122. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them metals of the earth and the art of working, and bracelets and ornaments, and antimony, and beautifying the eyelids, and costly stones, and knowledge. And there arose godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. That's how it describes Azazel. And then there are others that might be subsumed into him. Some Jaza taught men enchantments and root cutting. Amoros taught them the resolving of enchantments and breaking them. Araquiel taught them astrology, Cocobiel the constellations, and Ezekiel knowledge of the clouds. Aeromancy, I suspect. Araquiel signs of the earth, Shamsiel the sun, and Saniel the moon. I suspect that's the text we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
That's from the section of Enoch known as the Book of the Watchers.
Oh.
Which itself, of course, carries a certain ominous connotation. What it doesn't tell us precisely is what or where Azazel is. But herein is what else I have discovered. Azazel also appears in the Hebrew Bible, depicted in Leviticus as a scapegoat. And I mean that in the non-metaphorical terms. That is to say, a literal goat chosen by Lot to carry the sins of the people away from it. One might translate the name Azazel as rugged, tough, or difficult of God. Although my personal favor is to read it as averter or leaver. One who averts or one who leaves.
A rogue? One who's turned away?
One who takes, in the Hebrew, who takes the sins of people unto themselves. So, on the one hand, the name refers to an angel. On the other hand, it refers to a scapegoat. On the third hand, it refers to a place. And our old pal Origen, who wrote in the 3rd century, is absolutely convinced that Azazel is none other than Satan. But I wouldn't trust Origen if I were you. He is a devout Christian and a pious fool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. So this leaves us with no real sense of the one thing we must. Where would this Azazel be? Or more correctly, where would Brown imagine it to be?
I found it.
Oh?
Scapegoat Hill. 5 miles west of Huddersfield, West Yorkshire, England.
Well, it's good to know there's a Scapegoat Hill.
Yeah, it's a town. It's a small village. Sorry, go ahead.
Had a scapegoat, or used to, kick out scapegoats, or some such. In any case, at this point, you'll be interrupted by a large man who knocks on the door. This is apparently Mr. Edward. He's the rector.
Okay, cool.
That is to say, he manages Markham House.
It's Graves!
That's what I was worried for a second.
Well, no, you recognize him because he's the one who told you where Dr. Blythe's room was.
Okay.
And he tells Dr. Blythe, you have more visitors.
Get your guns, boys.
Okay, so that might be Mr. Graves.
Right.
So it's entirely possible that Mr. Graves and some of his church murderers are downstairs.
What floor? They're on the second floor? Oh, no.
They're on the second floor.
No!
Oh, no!
Remember,
Of
if you
course.
shove a gun right in somebody's back and pull the trigger, you're probably not going to miss.
Of course, Mr. Edwards, being the guy who manages the house, came upstairs the same as he did with you guys. When you guys arrived, he left you downstairs in the sitting room while he went up and asked Dr. Blythe if he wanted to receive guests. He's now doing the same thing. So there are more guests here. We don't know who they are, but we've got a pretty good guess who they might be.
But Blythe hasn't really actually found the location yet.
That's the one thing he has not located yet.
Okay.
But he has a suspicion.
Do we have a back door?
The house does.
Put a sheet out the window.
You could go down the hall and out the back entrance.
Yeah.
And hope
I
that
suggest we do that.
none of Brown's followers are watching the back door.
Hide, and then a quick ride back to London overnight.
None of you are in shape to do that.
Just send Blythe.
I mean, we've got... Okay.
So
We've got...
Dr. Blythe looked at you guys like, shall I tell the guests to go away?
Yeah, I would say tell them you're not receiving guests, and then I say as a secondary precaution, we head out the back door as he's telling them.
So he'll tell Mr. Edward that he's not interested in receiving more guests this evening, and Mr. Edward will go downstairs to the sitting room to tell those people that. If you guys are going to move, it's going to be now.
Don't forget the paperwork.
Yeah,
so
let's
grab
the book, grab his notes, start rolling up the papers. He really isn't sure what to do with the papyrus. That's part of the Oxnard collection and belongs to the Ashmolean Museum.
If
they
you
were
don't take
polite enough to let him take it.
If you don't take it, I believe they will. So
Thank you, Aaron. You're my hero.
Yeah. So you guys start packing.
So if anything, you're just saving it from being stolen.
So you guys basically packing everything here up in a hurry, shoving things into bags, crates, boxes, and rushing out.
I'll help as best I can. My guy knows nothing about library keeping or anything like that.
Oh,
so
there's nothing organized about this.
As far as he's concerned, it's just shoving stuff in bags. So,
Well, there's nothing organized about this at all. Dr. Blythe has got the scroll. The rest of you, library use would help you pack it up more in an organized fashion if you wish.
I will attempt to help packing.
Yep.
I'd like to use library use then.
Are you kidding me? I failed.
Just shove it in bags then. Just shove it in bags.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
I can't roll above 50 tonight.
Can't hear you, Josh.
I rolled a clean success, like 50 on 50.
Okay, so you'll at least be able to organize a bit as you're packing. The other two of you are just basically throwing everything in the room into boxes and bags and rushing out the door.
Yep.
You'll have to sort it later and hope you got everything. One quick look to make sure you haven't missed anything. Spot hidden roll if you want to make sure you haven't missed anything.
Nope, I failed that miserably.
That's true for everybody who wants one.
Let me attempt to spot hidden roll.
Yeah, just to make sure that nothing fell or got left behind.
Oh, thank God.
Speed your packing.
Thank the God. I finally rolled good. That is a hard success.
Yeah, you'll notice a couple of pages of loose notes got knocked on the floor and landed under the desk.
Yoink!
So basically go back in, scoop those up, and throw them into a bag. So now, as far as you can tell, you've got everything. And heading for the back door. Downstairs, as you move down the back hall and toward the rear stairs of Markham House, you can hear someone shouting on the first floor below you. And a thud, followed by what sounds like splintering wood.
Edwards is dead.
Which I suspect is Mr. Edwards taking a fall through a table. I don't know that he's dead, but WWE probably would have been impressed by that one. Because I think he just went through a table.
Burn the whole house down.
Okay.
Probably the one in the sitting room.
I'm going to... Is there a window nearby?
A luck roll will tell you that. Is there a window
fall
you
out
can
the
access?
last window?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to jumped out
No,
a window.
you guys are down on the first floor. You came down the steps. You're in the back hall when you heard this.
No, they're on the second floor,
Oh,
going
I'm sorry.
toward the back, moving toward the back stairs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
there's a staircase leading from the second floor down. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
which will take you to a rear door, which is where you're on your way to when you heard the crash.
Right.
And incidentally, you can hear
Murder!
people stirring in
Murder!
rooms because a lot of people heard the crash too.
I didn't. Okay, I failed the luck roll.
Yeah, so no, you're in a hallway. What's on both sides of you were apartment doors,
All right.
and several of them, as you pass, you can hear people moving. In one case, an apartment door opens, and standing in the door is a middle-aged man with a broadsword.
There's been some
I'm
kind of assault
quite close.
downstairs.
And he will go toward where you point.
Quickly, let's get Touch of Blind out of
I'm
here.
pretty sure that broadsword is really more symbolic for scholars, but he's got a broadsword
Right.
and is probably
Well-
about to get punched right in the chops.
Wish him the best of
Maybe
luck,
he'll chop
and
somebody's
we-
hands off or something.
I suspect he's about to get his ass beat.
We are not brave men. We
Murder!
are leaving.
Yeah,
Murder!
yeah. 'Cause I think you just said some, middle-aged Oxford scholar with a broadsword that he's worn for showmanship reasons up against a bunch of dudes who actually beat people up.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure he's.
We
about to get
don't
his
know
ass
that.
kicked,
He could have been in the military. We don't know.
Okay. Then.
Anyways, you guys keep going to the back stairs.
Yeah.
Whoever the guy is, that's his problem now. So, hit the back stairs, and as you come out
He's
the back,
making it his problem. So.
oh yeah, listen, you didn't put him up to that. He chose that.
Yep.
So whatever happens to him is on him. And when you exit the back door, you will find yourself at the far end of Chatham Street, and you're not alone here. Yeah, they sent some people. There's 2 people minding the back entrance.
I look directly at them, take out my pistol, and I'm going to aim it at them.
Because they come at you as soon as they see you. So you draw. Here's the problem: are you actually going to fire?
I will draw and I will tell them to stand aside.
Because they're not doing that.
I'm going to fire into. I can't shoot for shit with the pistol.
Well,
but
You
I
could
gave
try.
I
Point
gave him
is,
a
are you-
warning. Say,
Point
I
is,
gave him a warning.
are you willing to take a human life?
uh,
That's what it comes down to. You're pointing a loaded firearm at a potentially hostile person who may be intent on harming you, but what does that tell us about, what are you willing to do under those circumstances?
Self-preservation.
find out.
I'll shoot a man. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, well then do it.
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna fire.
04.
That's an
That's
impale.
Hold on. Let me
All
double
right.
check. Yes, that
Okay.
is exactly an impale with my
You-
firearms
what-
pistol.
Was this intended to kill?
When I said stand aside and they did not stand aside and they were coming for me, I'm defending my life at this point in time in my mind. So,
Okay, so that round was intended to kill.
Yeah.
So
Edgeworth,
you'll
That's a rifle.
aim, take it
Edgeworth
center
is gonna
mass.
hesitate.
Which weapon was that?
the foldable pistol that I had.
Oh, right.
Oh, I thought it was a rifle.
But with an 04, it really doesn't make any difference.
It's a
Snap
D6.
open,
But like I said,
Yeah.
it was
Snap the
a
lock.
pistol.
boom. Yeah, and with an 04 like that,
It's a minimum of 9 points of
Go.
damage.
you go center mass. The
Yeah.
man took 2 steps, and as the round discharges, and you can feel the gun, it feels light in your hand compared to the kinds of weapons you're used to.
Oh yeah.
The man takes 3 more steps toward you, and with each one, the light starts to fade. And at the 4th
Okay.
step, he simply falls over.
Oh, God.
Okay.
You should make yourself a sanity roll. I think it's the first time you may have ever looked a man in the face as you shot him to death.
More than likely. And I rolled 100 then. So
That's gonna hurt a bit.
yeah.
Maximum sanity loss.
I just killed a man.
And more importantly, we're looked him in the eye as you did it.
Well,
And yeah, it turns out 6. You'll lose 6 points of sanity.
Oh,
Ooh, that requires
He
an
dies
intelligence
basically
check.
Right at your feet. Well, hold that thought a sec, because someone else was also taking a shot. Who else
Oh, wow.
who else had a loaded firearm and was prepared to use it?
I think Edgeworth hesitates. I think he's not ready to take a human life.
Okay, and what about Mr. Baker?
I think Baker is gonna reveal and draw the blade from the umbrella.
Okay. Oh, there we are. And use that as the second man gets close?
I'm gonna brandish it and be like, "You want some?"
Baker's already killed. His sanity will be fine.
I suspect the answer is yes. And that man, with an O2, executes an absolutely perfect tackle.
He's
you
tackling
will,
me.
yeah.
Wait, can he dodge or something or fight back?
You will, this fellow has an extreme success, so you'll need an extreme success to defend yourself.
So I'm gonna have to roll a 5.
Yeah. So he executes what is really a kind of flawless tackle. Like, there are some NFL teams, if they existed, who would have been very happy to see that. That is how you make an open field tackle.
No, I did not make an extreme success.
So
is rugby existent in this time period?
Not quite.
Okay.
The game is still more mob football than rugby.
Okay.
Mob football, by the way, is very much still a thing and is super fun and weird. It's basically 2 villages, 1 ball, no rules.
Oh, God.
Other than that, it's basically soccer / football / rugby. Sometimes actual slashing is involved.
Right.
So, no joke, there's a case from the 14th century of a guy who was accused of murdering a fellow while playing football. He claimed that the dagger slipped out of his belt while he was making a tackle.
Into his hand.
Yep, and into the other guy's guts.
Oh, yeah, that's totally...
It was an accident. Yeah, sure, I believe it. We all do. Yeah, no. Anyway,
so Baker just got tackled.
So what he does is this guy executes a beautiful tackle and grabs Mr. Baker once he's got you to the ground, basically getting an arm bar across your throat, and is looking up at the others, saying, "Give me the papers." Oh, that's his plan.
I'm being
to
used
hold you here and basically hold you hostage in exchange for the papers. Now, Mr. Edgeworth still has not made a move. Neither has Dr. Blythe, who is watching the violence for the moment and fumbling with something in his pocket.
Illingsworth might go crazy too.
We'll get to that. But Mr. Edgeworth still hasn't made a move. You're still holding a firearm. You hesitated. Are you doing anything, or are you just standing there?
Shove the barrel in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm going to. This is a terrible idea, but I'm going to step up and, shaking, pull the trigger.
Shoot the man who's tackled Baker?
Or, no. Can I...
Because there's only 2 of them. The other one is stone dead.
The other one is stone dead.
Oh, yeah. He was dead before he hit the floor.
So he's got Baker.
Yep. He's basically trying to take Baker hostage to trade Baker's safety for the book, which he believes Blythe has. Of course, the longer you're here, given that you just heard a gunshot, the folks in the front of the building are going to make their way through the building and come join them. And they've got friends. And one of their friends put Mr. Edwards through a table.
Yep.
I would be very surprised if that was anyone other than Mr. Graves.
Can I pull my gun and shoot this guy?
It's going to be, you're going to have to match strength against him to get to anything. But I want to know if Mr. Edgeworth is doing anything this turn.
You know what? I'm going to release the gun. I'm going to try and wrestle Baker out of this guy's arms.
Okay, so you're going to get down there yourself and try to get this guy free?
Yeah.
So you can either use brawling or strength. Either way, you're going to match yours against his.
Yeah, it's going to be strength.
Okay, what's your strength score?
65.
So you've got 5 points on this guy, so call it a 55% chance of success on your side.
Okay.
So 55 or under to pry this guy away with your hands.
Okay, 55 or under. That's a 7. That's an extreme success.
Yep. So
Nice.
he gets Baker in a chokehold. You get down on a knee, get him from behind, and while his arms are engaged, get him basically in a full Nelson hold. And drag him upward. So now you have his arms pinned behind his back and upward. Which means he's in no position to make demands of anybody. Dr. Blythe, by the way, in case you're wondering, has now found what he's looking for in his pocket, which is a foldable pistol of the kind you recognize. Which he had apparently somewhat forgotten that he had somewhere in his coat pocket.
Okay. We need to go.
I'm not sure it's loaded, by the way.
I pulled out my loaded pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know for certain that Dr. Blythe remembered to load the one he has. Yeah, and you need to go now because A, that was a gunshot, and now people are coming, and B, whoever put Mr. Edwards through a table is also coming.
Illingsworth might be causing problems here.
Do have to come back to that though. So you need to make yourself an intelligence roll.
Fail it. You got to fail it, Aaron.
I know what I got to do.
Yeah.
And because I needed to fail it, I rolled a 19,
Hey.
which is a hard success.
Okay.
Bout of madness.
An awareness to you that you just killed a man in the street,
Yeah,
and they hang people for this,
yeah.
deservedly so. So this goes one of two ways now. Either you're going to find yourself willing to remain and accept whatever penalty comes this way, or you're going to find yourself willing to become this kind of a killer. In other words, to normalize the idea of killing.
Oh.
Well, in my mind, like, they're coming for us, so it was in the matter of self-preservation. So,
Well, you can certainly call it that, and it's at a logical level that is absolutely true. But the illogical part of the human brain isn't going there. It's going to the fact that you blew this man's heart out.
right,
And people who do that either are, by definition, those who keep doing it, or they pay the penalty for what they've done.
okay,
So for you, if you choose option B, the killing is going to get easier.
Yeah,
For the moment, that's actually potentially a good. For the moment, it's potentially a good thing.
yeah,
Finish off your
Down
prisoner.
the road, it may not be.
right,
Also, you need to make a power roll.
okay. And I needed to succeed this, so I probably failed it. Power. Yep, I failed it, but
So, because there's a man, another hostile who's currently being held, you should kill him too.
well, I gotta load the gun again, though, right? So,
You could just
Make a spot hidden roll and try to fail this one.
just rip his throat out with your teeth.
So that's a bit rude for everybody here.
Yeah, well, he's in temporary.
You-
He's got a bout of madness
you
going.
told me to fail it, so I succeeded.
Okay. Because you know what's sitting there on the street? Edgeworth.
Oh, his gun?
He put it down and
I-
used his hands to
I
tackle this guy,
dropped it.
and it's still loaded.
Yeah, all right.
Take the shot.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead and make the shot.
Oh yeah. By the way, really don't miss this one.
I did miss this one.
Would he,
Couldn't
would
he have
I'm
just-
telling you,
Would he get a bonus die because I'm holding him?
Yeah, you will get a
Oh.
bonus die. Yeah.
Yes,
Good point.
And also
but really,
point blank.
another bonus
but really
die
don't
for
miss.
point blank
For point
range.
So 2 bonus dice.
Two
I
bonus
can live with that.
dies.
2 bonus dice.
guess what? Oh, no.
What's that?
Actually, no. I rolled a hard success. I rolled an 05
Yes.
on the third one. I needed that third bonus die.
Because here's the thing: you grab the firearm and without thinking, shoot. It's only later you'll realize you shot a man who's being held by one of your friends.
Yeah, I know.
If that round had either missed or gone through,
I would have
and
killed 3 men today.
Yeah, can I make a
correct.
sanity save now? Because I was not expecting that.
yes, Mr. Edgeworth is also making a sanity roll at this point because you're holding a man whose head just got blown off.
That's a good shot.
That's a good shot,
yeah,
though.
it is. With an 05, yeah, it is. And there's
It
no
was not.
hesitation
It was
there.
a
That
hard
meant to
success.
kill.
It wasn't an
It was
05.
a hard success. It wasn't an extreme.
Still good enough
Unless
to
you're
put it
gonna
right
let me
where
level up my pistols in between rounds.
Yeah, no.
My current sanity is 44. I rolled a 72, so I fail.
Yeah, so that's going to cost you a bit. Not as much, as you're not the one who did it, but still.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
That's going to cost you
So,
3.
3.
Yeah, baby.
Not enough
And
to cause...
you also are going to want to make a dodge roll.
Oh, goody.
Is this for the blood and brains?
Oh, it's not blood and brains that are the problem.
Oh, no.
Fun fact. This is
Ravenhill.
about...
Bones? I believe Edgeworth rolled 100.
No, I rolled a 1.
Oh!
Okay. So you
What?
push the thing
What?
away, the dead man away from you. No, the problem here actually is fragmentation, in particular of the skull. One of those things we don't like to talk about in Napoleonic era battles. If men are lined up shoulder to shoulder, one type of injury, someone gets their head blown up, the skull becomes a bomb.
Yeah.
Those bone fragments can kill a neighbor. So that's what the problem was there, that Edgeworth could have been injured or even killed
Oops.
by this man's skull as it essentially detonates.
Splinters.
That's basically a 50 caliber bullet impacting a human skull.
Yeah.
And it
Watermelon
does terrible,
pop.
terrible things. So that's 2 shots. That's 2 dead men. And at this point, you're getting the fuck out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Panic, running. Do you even know where you're going at this point? Does it matter?
I think at my guy's current state of mind, and he isn't caring where he's running. He's just running at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not thinking. He's not thinking. So.
Yeah. And you really also, someone may want to make sure in particular that Mr. Illingsworth is not seen. Because not only is there's some blood on him, he's also holding 2 pistols.
No, could I have dropped the one that was already on the ground potentially then? Well, or
No,
I
probably still holding them. Probably still holding them both. Why would you drop them?
Yeah, you're crazy, dude. You're
Okay.
temporary insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
The one who's
You
covered
intend
in
to reload.
blood is probably fucking
Yeah,
Edgeworth.
you intend to reload these as soon as you get a moment. You've got more shot. You've got more powder. These are still useful. When you get a moment to calm down, first step is reloading. Mr. Edgeworth, however, is completely covered in blood. So you do not want to be seen anywhere on the street. Which means out of Oxford. Fortunately, Oxford is not a large town. And at this hour, there's not a lot of people moving around. You will need to avoid High Street because there are several taverns there. And let's face it, the students are still drinking. But it's only 11 a day. It's only 11 o'clock. This place is just starting to rock.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, they're loud, which means probably nobody heard the gunfire. Mr. Illingsworth is not going to do this because he's busy running and kind of hunting. The other 2 of you are welcome to make a spot hidden roll if you look back to see who came out the back door. In other words, can you confirm that was Mr. Graves? Because we think that was him who put Edward through the table.
I succeed on the spot hidden.
Oh, yeah. That's Mr. Graves. He's hard to miss given his size. And honestly, it's even hard to miss the knife. They said Mr. Graves carries a knife. It's really more like a small sword than a knife.
Say that's not a knife.
No, yeah, it's what Crocodile Dundee would agree is in fact a knife.
Right.
It would impress even him by the size of his knife.
Right.
For those of you who remember that movie, yeah, that's not a knife. That's a knife. I'm glad somebody remembers that movie who isn't me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Same, I remember it, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a classic scene.
Right.
Way,
Right. That's.
You know, the
That's pretty much
crocodile featured in that movie died the other day?
Oh.
Wait.
Right,
Wait.
The crocodile,
Who'd you say
like, the animal,
Oh.
died like
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, I think.
I'm
Died recently. Or at least I thought I read that. Yeah. No, crocodiles
Wait,
can
they-
live a long time.
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Like
Like it
50,
was like
70 years or something.
yeah, it was like
that.
40-something years old, and they died. It was like, I didn't know one crocodile from another. But the point is, I remember reading that particular crocodile happened to die recently. As for you guys, this is the next couple of hours are going to be basically a mad scramble.
Yeah.
You've got a collection of books you're trying to keep dry and safe. You can't be anywhere near Oxford. And you're probably going to keep running until your body just gives out and you can't run anymore. At which point you will find yourselves in what I'm guessing is a wooded area. And I say I'm guessing because you don't know where the fuck you are at the moment. Other than there's nobody, no people around. So there's no one to complain about walking around waving firearms about or being covered in blood. So, the upside is there's no people to complain about it. The downside is, where the fuck are you? Excellent question. Meantime, back in London, while you guys were doing that, I noticed, by the way, pushing that ride there really helped. You got there 2-3 hours ahead of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Well done.
Yeah. Now, back in London, Dr. Payne, meantime, was keeping an eye on the church and on Limehouse.
Yep, giving money to the poor, helping out people who need some kind of medication or some
Yep.
kind of surgery if need be. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Uh, and making myself with the community.
Okay. Well, if you actually stop by the church at any point,
Um,
uh,
yeah, I will. During that day, I'll stop by the church.
okay.
My friends are fine. They're safe. I'm the one in danger.
Yep. I don't know if you want to actually talk to Reverend Brown, but you will notice that you do not see Mr. Graves anywhere.
I haven't seen him around before except during services, though.
This is true.
The other
So,
times that I visit.
Yeah. Of course, you'll find out later where he was.
I'm going to. Yeah. If Reverend Brown can see me, I'll see him for a few minutes. I don't want to interrupt his day. I'll ask one of the girls who works in the church if I can see him for just a few minutes, if possible.
Yeah, she'll go ask him, and the answer is that he's happy to take a few minutes out of his day to see you. He's
Okay.
heard what you've been doing around town.
He's heard what? Oh yeah. Okay. Where?
And
Where does he
certainly
meet me? Sorry,
um,
I'm sorry to
he'll come
interrupt.
he'll come out to the nave. So he'll come out of his office, come out to the nave, the main church area, and meet you there.
Oh, okay. Um, I'd like to speak with him alone. I will tell him as I kind of
Then
look
he'll
at the some of these women who are working in here or whoever's in the main church.
Yeah, there's a couple of call them women. They're really girls. They're teenagers.
I mean, even if he just takes me aside, that's fine. Whatever he wants to
Yeah.
do.
What he'll use is the study. You've seen this room before, where the samovar is.
Yeah. Yes, that
He'll
was that
offer
big
you
meeting room. Yes.
Yeah, he'll offer you
I,
some hot tea.
I will. I politely decline.
Okay,
I'm.
and then ask if you mind if he takes a cup himself,
Oh no, of course not.
and
Uh,
he'll pour some from the samovar.
um,
Notice, by the way, he also doesn't take any sugar in his.
does he do
Whatever that
cream or anything? Is just straight up tea?
Nope.
Okay,
Just drinks the straight tea,
interesting.
pours it into his cup, and drinks it as it is. Most English people don't do that. Some do, many don't.
I feel I'm having a crisis of faith, Reverend Brown, of some
Okay,
kind. It feels like I'm not sure exactly.
then perhaps you've come to the right place.
No, I. Here's the problem. You've told me about these angels, how wonderful they are, but I was
Mhm.
filled with terrible dread when I saw it. The
Well,
at the Friday last week. I'm gonna be honest with
but
him. This thing scares the hell out of me, and I'm gonna let him know that. And I'm just unsure of what I should do about this.
there's a reason that the angels do that. They are fearsome. They
Yes.
are. But the thing about it is, they don't want you to necessarily fear them. So, for instance, consider the story of Luke. In the book of Luke, chapter 2, an angel comes to a man, and the first thing that it says is, "Be not afraid. I bring good news."
Yes, I understand why.
They are fearsome in their countenance. Of that, there is no question. They are not the human modeled creatures that give comfort to so many. A woman or a man with wings and beauteous countenance. Such a creature, such an imagination, it gives comfort. The average man in the street would like to imagine that the angels of the Lord are like unto him, only more beautiful and winged. But our world is not always beautiful.
Well,
And if these angels are terrifying in their countenance, they remind you that there is no need to fear them.
but I do. How does one overcome such fear?
Slowly.
And it came through the window moved. I didn't understand that. How
Yes.
did that happen?
It exists both inside and outside of the world as you and I do.
Oh, oh,
It
oh.
is transcendent in that it is both above and beyond and with us. It is both natural and supernatural at the same time. Thus, the wall, the window, these barriers to our flesh and body concern it not.
Oh. What would you suggest?
Familiarity.
Ah,
Many who come on Friday come to know them by their names.
oh. It
And
spoke. Did it speak?
it,
But I didn't understand it.
it,
I mean,
that's not a surprise.
do,
It
do,
did not speak. It did not speak a language you are likely familiar with.
but you seem to understand it.
I do.
Oh, I just
That was one of the things that they taught me.
they the angels.
They taught me to speak in their tongue,
Oh, oh dear.
that I might share their message with others.
Yes, yes. So that's what you seek to do is share this message with everyone.
Yes,
That's what you want to with this place with your church,
yes.
with everyone in London, everyone in England,
Everyone in the world,
everyone in the world. Oh,
from the meanest in far off lands to the richest potentates, every single person will know the glory of the Lord
hmm, hmm.
and his angels, and they will understand not to be afraid of such things. They bring joy, they bring peace,
Now I
they
came.
bring
Sorry,
a
keep going.
millennium, and then the judgment of the Lord will be upon us.
Hmm.
And those who have treated their fellow men poorly, those who do evil, will be cast to the Lord's left hand
Yes, yes,
and down, and those who do good, those who harm not,
on the right hand.
those who raise up others will be cast to the Lord's right hand and raised up,
But
as they have raised up others.
I see. Will this angel come again this Friday?
It will.
I see.
I will call it forth
Yes.
by its name, and it will come.
What is its name? Is there is there a word that I would understand?
You may call them angels if you wish. I call them in the turn by which they are named. Listen,
Oh
their
no.
names are Samyaza, Araquiel, Ramiel, Kokobiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Chazaquiel, Baraquiel, Asael, Almaros, Batariel, Basiliel, Ananiel, Zaquiel, Samsiel, Tatariel, Turiel, Yomiel, Sariel, and Azazel. I will not call those ones that are too close to the Son of Man: Michael, Uriel, Raphael,
Oh.
Gabriel.
Oh. Yeah.
Those I will not call upon. They are too close to the Son of Man, and they have lost the message. They have lost the way. They do not remember that the righteous are to be lifted. Each week in turn, I call them by their names. And if you must
Oh.
know,
Who did he call last week? Did he name a name that was along that list? Did I hear that? Any of those
You
names in
didn't
his
you
sermon?
didn't hear the name,
Okay, okay.
but it says this week I shall call Bazaziel.
Azazel. How close was that to
Was
Azazel in his little list?
Azazel was at the end of the
Right, I
list.
knew Azazel was at the end. Do I remember approximately where Bazaz's?
1, 2, 5, 6, 7 names from the end.
Okay. And did he say who
So
he called last week?
he did not,
Oh, who?
but he
And
said he called them in their turn.
so last week was, and then I'm literally trying to remember who came before Bazazel.
Batariel.
So, and that's what I'll
That's
say. So that was Bataliel last week,
Batariel.
and
Yes,
this week.
is
Oh,
Azaziel.
that's fascinating.
Their names are rendered through our tongue in the Hebrew tongue.
Oh,
Thus, each one has a name that ends with the last name of God.
I'm nodding at that. That's the AL at the end of Azazel.
Yeah,
Bazazel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that
yeah.
I understand that.
That's also the same ending found, by the way, in names like Michael,
Right, right.
Raphael.
Okay. So
Yeah,
that makes
those
sense.
are
My
the names
character
of
doesn't
angels.
have a whole lot of religion, but yeah, he pieces
Yeah.
that together.
So apparently he knows them by name, and he's using names from the book of. You'll find out later. He's using the names from the book of Enoch.
Oh
And
yeah, when I get
his
back together with
his
the
list
group.
of names
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
comes from the book of Enoch. That's where he learned their names, or at least the names he calls them, and apparently they answer to those names,
I've never heard any of these names before, have I? Okay.
other than Michael.
Right, right. The
You've
ones he
heard of
mentioned as
Michael?
too close to man.
Yeah, yeah. Michael, Raphael,
I
Gabriel,
see. I see.
Uriel.
Um, was he? Do I think he's being sincere with what he's saying?
Oh,
Like saving
absolutely.
the world, left hand of God, right hand of God, all that shit.
Oh, yeah. He's a true believer.
So,
He believes that these creatures are in fact angels of the Lord,
and
and
he
that they
totally
will
just wants
clear.
to bring the angels of the Lord to the world and save the world. Is
Or at least save the lowly. I mean, he's also talking about how the greedy and the vindictive and those who do evil
well,
will be
yeah, they go
cast
to
down,
hell. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
which means he's talking about everybody from like people who own slaves, who probably do belong in hell, to
Yeah.
people who are simply rich,
Those
like you.
Americans. There's no
Well,
slavery
not
in
you.
England anymore, is there?
No, no, but it's still in
Okay.
America. What he's talking about is people who are really genuinely evil, and also people who are rich or not necessarily. I mean, he's talking about everyone who's not poor, essentially.
Me, I'm on the bad side. Well, I'm going to ask him about that. But now, Reverend Brown, but I'm quite wealthy. I've made a good deal of money with my practice,
But
and
I've
I'm
seen you raise others up.
well. I try to be kind, and I'm trying to help these. I'd never know. I didn't know how terrible
It's
it was.
it's not
How
about your status or your possessions. It is about whether you walk righteously in the eyes of the Lord.
oh,
I watch you raise men up,
I've tried.
and I watch others put them down.
Oh yes, yes, I understand that.
I watch men do evil to their fellow men. And on the day of the judgment, those men will be cast to the left hand of the Lord, and they
Yes,
will be
yes, as you
destroyed.
said. Yes.
And they are legion, and they are millions.
We you've given me
And
much.
every last one of them will be destroyed.
You've given me very much to think about, and but I'm still afraid.
There is nothing to fear.
I know, and as you've said, there's nothing to fear. These are angels, but it's still, but fear is an irrational feeling that clutches at one and cannot easily be simply discarded to the side.
Your mind is caught between two places, caught between the comfort of the world you know and the
Yes.
truth. You must allow truth to draw you forward. You must allow truth to take you by the hand and lead you into the higher place. You must allow truth be your guide.
Very well. Yes. Yes. Well,
It will be fearsome, but
oh,
if it
I
helps,
I'm not a brave
remember
man.
remember the 23rd Psalm.
Though I walk through the
Though I
shadow.
walk,
Yeah.
yes, I shall fear no evil.
Yes. Yes.
Thy rod and staff, they comfort me. Your presence is with me here. In the presence of the angel, you are in the presence of the Most High.
And when the last comes, that's it. I mean, that's when it all.
The
When
judgment comes
Judgment
when
Day.
the judgment comes.
Oh,
I cannot say. I hope with my heart and my soul that on the last day I will be here to see it. And the judgment will come, and the mighty will be cast down, and the lowly raised, and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. But I do not, no man can know
oh.
the
Well,
day of that judgment.
I'm
It
sorry,
comes, remember Mark, it comes like a thief in the night.
but I thought that you were calling them each in turn,
I do,
and that
and I have.
Azazel was the last. I believe you said.
Azazel is the greatest of them.
But you're
And
calling him. You're calling them in order, and he's coming in a few weeks. Is that am I misunderstanding? I'm sorry.
or we will go to him at that time, or he will command us to do different. We
Oh,
are not. I am not the Lord here. I am
of
merely the
course.
messenger. The judgment will come when it comes.
I
I
see.
cannot control that. If I summon each and every one in turn, and this does not happen, then I shall begin again. And I will do this until the Most High pleases to take me from this place, or until the judgment day comes.
Well, have you summoned them all and had to return to the beginning?
No,
Oh, I see.
there are many.
Yes, that was an impressive list. I can't even remember them all.
You need not.
Well,
I have stored all of that.
yes, yes, I understand. Well, thank you, Reverend Brown. You've given me a lot to think about.
Of course, I strongly recommend that you come tomorrow
Do
and
do
be
I have
again in the
anything going
presence
on
of the
tomorrow,
angel.
Kevin? Do I have a party or something? Please tell me I've got a party or a meeting with somebody.
You can certainly arrange one if you want,
I
but at the
can't.
moment you do not.
I'm not gonna lie. Well, I'll do my best. I have to think on this. I have to think on this. I am very much
Naturally.
afraid, and I have to be strong. But thank you, Reverend Brown. And I'll stand up, and
And he'll do
I
likewise and
shake
take
his
your hand.
hand. Yeah, shake his hand very
And when he
respectfully.
does, using his other hand, like over top, like that, like this,
Yeah, yeah, he does
and
that.
reminds you, you know, fear is natural. You are between two places.
Yes.
Truth is frightening. Do
Oh
not
yes.
do not hold yourself to account for being afraid. It is normal and it is natural, and you will overcome it.
Thank you for your confidence.
Of course.
And I squeeze his hand very
Yep.
terrifying with my sweaty hands.
Yep.
I also am going to take very close note of this hallway that leads back to this room.
Yep.
And I want to, and I've talked to them about what was back there. Which door do I think is his office door? Which door is the basement door? I want to be able to
Well,
navigate this place a little easily if
yeah.
we end up coming
Well,
in
you
here.
know which one is the office door because they looted it previously.
Mm-hmm.
And the basement door is almost certainly the one that has the bolt lock on this side.
And it's just a bolt on the side of the
Plain
door.
old,
Okay,
plain old wooden slide bolt
gotcha. Okay,
designed to work from this side. In other words, you
right,
can't, if unless there's a bolt on the other side, you can't secure the door from below, only
right,
from this side.
right. There's no
There's
keyhole.
no key lock.
Okay,
Whereas the office door has a keyhole.
okay. So then I will finish up my work here for the day and go home that evening. I want to send a letter to the Impossible Chamber,
Yep.
that Cameron and Collins, as far as I could tell. Um,
Yep.
what I knew, because I haven't really talked to Edgeworth or Baker today, so everything up to a certain point about Cameron and Collins and how they might be involved, and then um, there's a list that he's calling, and we have maybe 7 weeks before he calls the last name on the list. Which, if things were, if the last, I'm trying to be vague in this letter in case it's intercepted, but if the last name is called up, that might be
Yeah.
it, like
Well,
the
he
big
does.
one.
He doesn't necessarily believe that, but you might.
I'm worried about it, and I'm
Yeah,
sending that
that
off to the
valid.
Impossible Chamber that day.
Okay. Now it's a couple of minutes to 11, so this seems like a good break point for this time.
Yes.
So now we basically have laid all that out. So you guys are going to start making your way back to London, probably by a roundabout route. It's a good thing you were planning for an overnight trip, so you've got to change your clothes to get rid of the bloody clothing. By the time Mr. Illingsworth wakes up, you'll be back to yourself in that sense. In other
Okay.
words, the madness will pass, but the awareness that there's a comfort in killing.
Am I
It's easy.
aware I killed the second man?
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
And the thing is, you've always been a hunter.
Right.
But if anything, where this goes is realizing that not only is this a thing, one, you can keep if you can, you can be the guy who does this if your comrades can't. And
Yeah.
two, honestly, what's better hunting than men?
The most dangerous game.
The most dangerous game. Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Oh
thinking.
God, Illingsworth's gonna.
There's much less challenge in killing animals when you could be killing men.
We're gonna have to put Illingsworth down.
Yeah, in other words, lose control again, and you may
Don't worry,
find
you
yourself
guys are
veering toward serial killer.
Hey, at least
This
he
is
didn't
how-
go nuts and try to kill Edgeworth and Baker.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're his friends. He's not going to do that.
He could have.
But
He was.
notice-
He had about a
Notice-
madness.
Sure about that?
He killed. Notice he shot and killed a man in a position that was very dangerous to one of his comrades.
Thank God for those bonus dice. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say.
But the
Like
point
I
was,
said.
if you'd missed, there was a non-zero chance that you hit Edgeworth.
My first roll was a 55. My second roll, I rolled a 40, and then the third one,
0.
double 0. So it came down to that third bonus die.
Yeah, which really mattered.
Boy, so
Okay,
Brown
so-
is not. Okay.
Well, Brown is, and what you realize, of course, at a meta level, what he's talking about. When does your fear go away?
Yeah, when I go
When you
crazy,
voluntarily
when
reach
I
zero
finally,
sanity.
when I finally
Yeah.
have lost my mind. But Brown is
Exactly.
crazy, but he's a believer, so he doesn't have some weird agenda to take over the world. He's trying to save the world, which
That's what he
is
thinks.
just as bad, kind of. But it's not selfish necessarily.
He thinks of himself as a hero
How can he run a gang of thieves
There-
and think of himself as a hero?
because he
Because they
thinks
have
of-
no way out. He's their best option.
Maybe.
No. It has much more to do with the fact. Notice that he talks about how the lowly will rise up, the first will be last.
Well, right, that's
No,
what I'm saying.
He thinks of the people he's robbing as evil people who deserve what they get.
Right.
What were you saying there,
He has no
Josh?
problem with that. Sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were
Maybe it
starting to say
I
something.
think I was saying something.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
I'm
there's-
sorry.
There is no more dangerous kind of man than one who thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, and he's a fanatic, and he's
Yeah. And has
crazy.
0 sanity points.
Yes.
So, a crazy guy who does legitimately believe he's doing good.
I was really tempted to just take my gun out and kill him right there, but
A bold strategy.
it did not seem like the right thing to do at the time. And I don't know anything about what's happening with you guys either.
Also, if you didn't successfully kill him on the first shot,
Oh, yeah. he
you're
would've
not
killed
getting
me.
out of there alive.
No, I probably wouldn't get out of there
Yeah.
alive even if I kill him on the first shot. Not unless
Well,
I
fairness, yeah.
tuck the gun away and be like, somebody ran in and just shot him. Fast talk fail. You're lying. Blah, 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 blah.
That's when you spend all your luck points, Andy.
No, I like my luck points.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend them.
Come on, you could be that guy that's terribly unlucky then, instead
No.
of...
So, what I'm doing is I'm pulling out the
Okay.
calendar to take a look at where we are in that regard.
Oh,
Now-
man.
Next week, we have, we want to do Dreamlands.
Yeah, next week on the 12th
Yeah.
is going to be Dreamlands. Possibly,
Just a note,
you guys could
I may
possibly
be a
be
little,
done with the Dreamlands next week.
I may be a little late.
Okay, that's fine because I'm going to be dealing with Sean.
I have
and the
a-
Wizard
I ha-
Monks.
We're doing the certification testing for umpiring, and I still need to do the softball certification.
Okay.
And it's a pain in the ass. So if I haven't figured it out by Wednesday, I'm going to go to the meeting where they're going to help everybody figure it out. I actually this afternoon, with a good deal of internet research and pain in the assery, figured out and got enough to pass the baseball test.
Hooray!
That's done, but I still have to figure out the softball test. And fun fact, I always thought of softball as just basically baseball with a different set of rules, different ball. It's not. It's a different game.
They got their own set of rules, don't they?
It really,
Yeah.
it's a much different game than you think.
Yeah, I didn't.
really.
I never thought about that actually.
I mean, yeah,
Okay, wait.
I never really.
We're off topic
Neither
big
did I.
time here.
Yeah. Okay, so
Let's finish that
how does the
first.
19th? How does the 19th work for everybody? 2 weeks out.
I should be fine.
Yeah, that should be fine for me.
Okay.
Be fine
Yes.
for me, yeah.
Okay, 8 o'clock again.
Yep.
Yeah.
8
If,
o'clock
if,
now.
that, if that's what works out best for everyone.
8 p.m. Okay, so on the calendar for the 19th, 8 p.m. Boom.
Things
There
are
it is.
getting hairy.
Yeah, and
I think
Yeah.
I think we're past the getting part already. They done got.
yeah.
You killed a man. We're all
I-
accomplices.
Two
I've
men.
killed 2 men.
Two.
Two
yeah.
men. The second one in cold blood.
Yeah.
The first one could have been justified. The second one
Right.
was
The
definitely
second one-
like you didn't have to kill
Yeah.
that man.
No,
Yeah.
you're
And in
absolutely
fact,
right.
you could have even potentially gotten answers out of him.
Right.
No,
but
not in the seconds it was going to take for fucking Graves to come around the corner and start just murdering the shit out of everybody.
Well, the point is, you're going to try to take him with you. To try to run away, carrying him along. I mean, there's 4 of you and 1 of him, so it could have been done.
It could have been done.
Yeah.
It's a terrible idea. No,
Yeah.
they all had boxes and carpet bags and shit trying to
Oh,
carry all
yeah,
these books. I don't
that's a
think
good
it
point.
would have been able to. When you guys were in the situation, I thought, I don't know what they're going to do with this guy. And then Illingsworth was like, boom. It was like, oh, okay. I guess that's one
That's
way
all-
to handle it.
Yeah, and Graves wasn't alone, by the way. Those who made the spot hidden roll.
oh,
It was he had another guy
if they
with him,
left,
too.
He had just
Say,
one.
if-
I assumed he had at least 2 more guys up in front.
No, it was the 4 of them total. Graves
Okay.
and 3 other men.
say, I'm actually kind of surprised that knowing how big Graves was, they didn't have like 3 guys at the back and have 2 guys going up front. In a way,
Well, they only had 4. They only had 4.
I gotcha.
So you guys could have potentially taken all
Although-
4 of them out.
Although Graves, in all fairness, counts as 2 guys. Pretty
Yes.
much.
That's what I was kind of getting at.
I mean,
that
That's the thing is, most of these guys are street punks. They're rounded up off the streets of Limehouse. Graves is a professional killer.
And probably armed.
not
More than just at least a
oh,
knife.
wait.
You saw
But I
his
wouldn't be
knife.
surprised if he had a gun somewhere on him too. Here's a question, Kevin. If I go to Friday's thing, is there any way to stave off sanity lost? If I
Well,
put
you've
wax
already-
in my
you've already-
ears and close my eyes and pretend to pray or something, would that
Well, you've
help?
already seen the Shantok once,
Yeah, I know.
which means you don't need to make another sanity roll if it appears and does what it did last time.
So only if it does something different.
Yeah, the sound might still get you.
But I could always put wax in my ears or something to that effect to help at least with the sound
Yeah.
somewhat maybe.
And of course, if the Shantok does something like speak to you or touch
Oh
you,
God.
it could still. There's still ways it could influence your sanity by
If-
doing things.
Yeah, right.
But merely watching it pass over is something you've already done. You saw it fly over you.
Does
You don't
my
need to make a
character know
sanity roll
this?
twice for the same thing?
Does my character know that I've seen it and I should be able to handle seeing it again? Or is my character still like, that messed me up?
I'll leave that up to you to decide how traumatic it was.
I lost a
and whether-
lot of sanity. I lost like 65. I lost 6 points of sanity, I believe, to the Shantak. A
Yeah.
lot.
So-
So
You may not be willing to look at it again. Just watching it float overhead was
right,
traumatic.
right. So again, if I put some wax in my ears to try to stifle the sound, close my eyes in prayer once we get to that point, maybe, or try to look like I'm praying. Do I
Yeah.
think it's? I don't want to look at it again. Do I think it's possible
Mm-hmm.
that, unless it actually comes over to me and starts like touching me, that I might at least be somewhat protected?
Somewhat. I
Okay.
mean, remember, it did extend its limbs
Yes.
down to the audience, so it might touch you.
But it went to the front, and
Well,
I was
it
all the way in
tou-
the
it-
back.
Remember, it trailed through the audience and touched people on its way. But many of those people were reaching their arms up to touch it on purpose.
Yes. Okay. Ooh, I could fall on my knees in supplication.
Yeah,
Yes.
like if you were low to the ground, it's unlikely to reach you. Because remember,
Okay.
a lot of people were literally raising their arms up, hoping to touch it.
I know. I
When it
feel
went
like I
by.
need. I feel like I need to go back Friday night. I'm trying to get in good with Father Brown so he'll lower some defenses towards me, which will
Yep.
hopefully make it easier to deal with him down the line. You guys attack the church. I'm like, Father Brown, come with me. I'll protect you. And then I put a gun in the back of his head, and just blow his brains out as we're running away or something.
Hey,
I don't know. Or shove him down the basement stairs. I don't know.
It's a valid solution.
Okay.
It's a solution nonetheless.
It's a solution. Whether it's a good one, I don't know. But it is certainly a solution.
Well, that was cool. I really enjoyed the hard ride to Oxford that you guys did.
Oh,
I thought that was really fucking epic.
That was
Had an
really
epic
cool.
feel to me. And the fact that you arrived in the nick of time. I don't know if Kevin had already planned when Blythe was. Don't tell me. I don't know if Kevin had already planned when Blythe was going to get kidnapped and his shit stolen, or if you guys actually made it on the exact right place to be and all that stuff or not. But either way, it was very, very fucking cool that the bad guy showed up right after you. And I really enjoyed that. And talking with Father Brown was terrifying, as always. But knowing that he's actually a true believer and not just this fakey guy who's trying to use his magic to get rich or something like that, I think that was pretty important information.
Oh yeah, Kevin, that was.
He's a true believer. He buys all that he says,
He's fucking crazy.
and that makes him more dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Not less.
That's why back of the head. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Graham.
Kevin, that was an excellently executed combat scene. Like I really
thank
enjoyed
you.
that.
God.
I like combat scenes to go fast.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that
same.
always bugged me about so many games is how the game slows down when you get to action, which is exactly where it should speed up.
Exactly. Agreed.
I could disagree with that a little bit.
No.
Because only for the fact that when it's happening to you, if it's a perception that time may slow down in a sense, matter of perception.
It does, but not that much.
For the character. But
Right.
as you as a player, I like making people make quick decisions, even if they're bad.
Yeah.
No,
ones.
but I agree with you. You should be very impulsive. Like I said, it's mainly a feeling that time is slowed down. It doesn't mean time is literally slowed down. You still have only a moment to think of things and react. But that's my only justification of why combat in every game bogs the game down.
Yeah, I prefer it not to.
Same.
I agree. I agree.
Honestly, one of my favorite games ever, weirdly enough, is Traveler.
You've told us
Mega
this
Traveler.
story, Kevin.
Because I told you that one about how I could run a combat in Traveler. It took 5 minutes of game time and 5 minutes of real time. And that's one of my favorite combats of all time.
This was a pretty quick combat. It went pretty quickly. You guys
good.
did get sidetracked at one point with something, but other than that, poor Graham, making him make that choice to shoot a man, and Graham was like, oh, I don't know.
Edgeworth isn't that brave, but he's also not a bad person.
And it's something to be.
Illingsworth wasn't a bad person. Oh, until the incident.
There's an interesting point to be made about that, which is what I rely on in part in moments like that. Like roughly, one study suggested that roughly 60% of firearms that were used at Gettysburg were fired either double loaded or were deliberately fired high or low. In other words, men who were given a weapon and told that man is your enemy, you must kill him. 60% of them couldn't do it. Even when told to, and said it is legitimate, it is necessary, you must, he's the enemy. 60% of them couldn't do it.
Illingsworth had no problem shooting that first guy.
Notice 40% of them could. The point is that statistically, we are usually bad at killing our own. Humans have a tendency to refuse to kill other humans.
But still,
except those who do.
60-40 isn't a huge sway in percentages.
But think about that. That's in a battle where these men have been trained.
Yeah, trained.
And told, you must
True.
do this. It is moral. It is necessary. It is
Yeah.
right. God wants you to. And they are the enemy.
But they were
And
also
even
lined
with
up in
all of that-
rows, weren't they?
Yeah.
They lined
Yeah,
up in
even-
rows to fire all at once, which is a little different than a man coming at you with a knife
Well,
or
you still have to.
something like
The point
that.
is, you still are kind of picking a target. When you're using a musket or a rifle musket, you're still aiming your weapon at an
Right.
individual.
Right.
It's not like dropping a bomb or operating a machine gun.
Yeah, and especially
Where you're
with
just pointing it in the right direction.
flintlock weapons, regardless, you're going to be like I said, literally looking at them with the whites of their eyes, essentially,
Yeah.
before you have any sort of good shot.
Yeah.
And
And in the Civil War, you could hit a man at 200 yards. But even at 200 yards, the point is you're aiming your weapon at a human being.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And one of the things that doesn't get talked about much. I've been reading up a lot on it because I teach this now. Is the long-term trauma of Civil War veterans. Actually, read a really interesting book that compared the Civil War with the Vietnam War
Oh yeah,
in terms of post-traumatic stress disorder.
yeah.
Interesting.
There's
And
so
the
much
effects.
stuff that like
I actually brought that
stress
to
has
the
been
Freelance game.
around a long time. It's just been called
Oh,
a
yeah.
great many things.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
Shader's
part of the
very,
reason-
very PTSD, really messed up from his time in
Yeah.
the Civil War.
Yeah.
The term
Even
of
years
art
later.
from the era is soldier's heart.
Even a decade later, and he's just like messed up. That's
Say,
why he
and
does
then
all
World-
that opium.
What
Yeah.
World War I and World War II, shell shock,
Yep.
I believe.
Yeah, the Civil War, the post-Civil War term is soldier's heart.
Yeah.
Soldier's
Because
heart.
one of the first things that medical doctors noticed was rapid heartbeat and arrhythmia. In other words, signs of fear when no danger was present.
Mhm.
So people would have rapid heartbeat as if they were reacting, their adrenaline was kicking, they were ready
Mhm.
for a battle when they were in a safe place.
Because no
So
place is safe.
well, if you have that kind of trauma, the answer is no, it isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're having a fear reaction, and here's a medical doctor wondering why this man is having a fear reaction when there's
no
nothing
reason.
here that's threatening.
Right.
We only met 2 new people tonight. Three.
Uh,
Hester, that lady, the royalty, and Mr.
The
Edward.
princess. When you said Grace, that's definitely where my mind went first. Was like, oh shit, she's a princess. Oh damn.
Yeah, which is why thought she could get away with that.
Well, right, and in a way, like all the more reason why Illingsworth may have pressed his luck to listen at the door. I mean, come on, it's a princess.
Is she French? Is it French or is it someplace outside of France? Those locations you told us about.
He said Eastern France, Western Germany, or whatever.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
Lorraine.
Because we're
the
still
house-
at war with France right now, aren't
Yeah,
we?
the House of Soubise is a sub branch of the House of Rohan.
Okay. Is it a French house?
Trying to figure out where their actual territory is.
We are at war with the
I
French.
believe their territory is in
Aren't we?
France.
We are at war with the French right now in 1811. England is, aren't we?
Yes.
Down in Spain, most of the fighting's taking place down in Spain.
Yeah.
Down in Spain. But yeah, how'd she get over here?
Yeah.
We wish somebody should
Well,
report her.
People can sometimes pass the line.
Yeah,
for various
especially
reasons.
rich people or that kind of thing. So
Yeah, what I'm trying to figure out is where Soubise is located in France.
I'm probably going back to the church Friday night. I got no excuse. If I actually had something planned already, I could probably make my excuses and wait another week. But and while you guys are up there having a gay old time in Oxford with Dr. Blythe, I'm got to risk my life with this monster. It's going to come through fucking plate glass again and touch me or some bullshit inappropriately.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
This is non-consensual.
Right.
Like an onion, your sanity will be peeled away layer by layer.
I'm hoping not. From what Kevin says, I can at least try to minimize the impact because my character is. This thing is terrifying. But Graham, you got to talk to your partner. Get them in here.
Get the back.
We can always use another friend. Maybe wait. Her character identifies as a man. Well, shit, but we're in 1811. But we know her as a man. No, she is a woman. Her character's a woman.
Yeah.
Who everybody thinks of as a man. So yes, I could use a friend to come with me to the church. if he's in London,
I'll run it by them.
and if he's in Oxford, he can help you all kill Graves. Hopefully, who's a terrible criminal and deserves to die.
Probably, yeah.
He's a murderer.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop
We
off,
don't
Jen.
we don't know how many people he's murdered. I suspect the answer is a larger
All of
number than
them.
you'd like to think about.
And don't forget to go by Delacourts when you get back from Oxford,
Yep.
Edgeworth,
Yep.
because
Yep.
you're in love.
Good point.
And I'm looking
All right.
forward to a spring marriage.
Maybe a fall one.
Maybe
This season.
fall, maybe summer. Maybe we'll use the
could be.
balloon. You guys
Yeah.
can come down in the balloon. Oh,
Let's just not
beautiful,
deploy fire.
beautiful.
Let's just not deploy fireworks from the balloon, okay?
No, of course not.
No
Thank
fireworks from the balloon. No, seriously, that's how people die. No
That-
fireworks from the balloon.
Right.
Okay,
God.
good.
All right. Good night,
Safety
Graham.
Have a good night.
And
Good night.
Later.
I will see you. I will be late on. I will probably be late on Wednesday.
Wednesday, and
But I
that's
will be
fine
there.
because I'm probably going to start with Sean.
Okay, that's fine.
He's
So I'll
dealing
be
with
there when I can.
the wizard. Okay, yeah.
Okay. So take care, everybody. Thanks for a great game.
Bye.
Good night.
Later.
Well,
Oh, you pixelated the hell out.
While everyone was like just leaving.
Yes, it was the whole top of the screen was like, oh, hey, we need to stop streaming. Bye, everybody. I forgot to stop streaming.